Is Ryan Levesque here, and I'm super excited for today's, I'm going to call it a master class, because this is truly one of the masters of this craft who's going to be teaching what I consider to be one of the most valuable things that you can learn as an online digital marketer. And the gentleman that is going to be presenting today, our guest of honor, and I'm going to mention him and ask him to say hello. I'm going to say some nice things about him, is Mr. John Benson. John, you want to say hello real quick?
Hey, hello. How's it going? And thanks, Ryan, for the nice words that are soon to come. How's everybody doing?
Future pacing, nice words soon to come. Massive.
Imagine if you will.
In a moment, I will be saying some nice things, but first, listen, guys, we have a real treat today. John is, and you've heard in my emails the stories that I've told, really the legend of how I kind of stepped into the position I'm in today, is because, like all of us, I consider myself someone who stood on the shoulders of giants. And there are really just a few people that I will mention by name that have had a tremendous personal impact on me. And there is a story that I tell where I was in a bar in Austin several years ago, and I heard someone speak who I didn't know the name at the time, and I was in the back of the room with my little flip pad, and it transformed my life. And it was one of the keys to transforming my rocket memory business into the success that it was. And it was learning the way John Benson, how his unique approach to selling through the video sales letter format can transform your business. And I took the information that I learned from John in just that live talk, went back into my business, applied it, and the results were transformational. It inspired me to reach out to John years ago and ask him if he'd be open to joint venturing, to co-create a product on VSLs together. And he is truly the godfather of this medium. And I think what he's going to talk about today, which is something I'm so excited about, is how you can almost trick people into thinking that you've invested the 10, 20, 30,000 hours that John has invested in this craft by hitting what I consider to be the easy button. And John's going to go through everything step by step. So I'm super, super excited to be here today. Before I turn it over to John, I just want to make sure, can you hear my audio okay? Do I sound okay? Can you see the screen in front of us with John's handsome face and my goofy face next to him? Awesome. Awesome. Dan says, great. Hey, Mary, great to see you. Super excited to have you here. Let's see. Lynn, great to see you. Ashley, Richard, my man. Rick, David, Arla, so good to see you guys. See so many familiar names here. Jonathan, Melissa. Awesome, awesome, awesome. Well, listen, John, we're 4 minutes past the hour. I'm going to turn it over to you, my friend. I'm going to be here for anything that you might need, but I'm going to let you take lead because I want to have my pen and paper out and take some notes myself. So, John,
awesome.
Thanks so much for being here. I'll let you take it away.
All right, thanks everyone for being on the call today. And just FYI, I'm going to go very quick, very, very fast, and I'm going to try not to slur my words too much because essentially I'm giving you every single step inside this 5-step process, and the only way to do that is to go fast. So that's why we had the PDF that hopefully you have in your hands. I'm not seeing the questions, just FYI. I don't know if Brandon can make a change there so I can see the questions. So I would ask you guys, I'll be asking you for some feedback, and if I can't see the questions, maybe someone could chime in and give me the answers. So with that in mind, so let's get started. First of all, you're going to want to know what the yes reflex is. I'll tell you that in just a moment. It's not magic. It just kind of feels that way sometimes, but it's nothing voodoo, nothing magic. But first of all, let's make sure that you're in the right place. Is that cool? Who should be here? This information is going to be very important to you if you meet any of the following criteria. If you have an existing product or service that you sell online, either with a video sales letter or a VSL, sales page, text normal sales page, webinar, teleseminar, smoke signals, a rose by any other name, whatever you do to sell things, if you sell things online, you're in a good place. If you are wanting to get started online and you have an idea for a product but you're just not quite sure what's going on or not quite sure what to do, then this is a really good place for you to hang out. Or if you sell affiliate products online and want to get an edge over your competitors, a lot of people use the formula I'm about to show you to outproduce the sales pages of products that they really believe in. So they make more money and everybody's happy. Now there's another reason. If you want to start a path to what I call personality persuasion. Now, what is personality persuasion? It's a highly ethical form of persuasion that uses modalities and rapport to engage your prospect. Now, what does all of that mean? Ethical being a very key word. The difference, and please write this down, it's not on the screen, and a lot of things I will say are not going to be on the screen. They're going to be things that you're going to want to write down. There's a huge difference between compelling and coercion. So I talk about how to compel your prospects into making a decision that they've already decided somewhere in their being that would be a good decision to make, as opposed to shoving, coercing, manipulating. That's not what I do. That's not what really good copywriters do either. This is not a program to teach you to be a copywriter. This is a program, a course, if you will. In this case, it's a 2-hour webinar that's going to show you the secrets from a copywriter so that you don't have to become one. Okay, but the way that I approach copy is using ethical persuasion. And the way that you do that is through modalities, which is how we perceive things. We learn through learning modalities, and we sense through sensory modalities, and rapport. Rapport is just engagement with your prospect. Okay, so personality, first of all, refers to two things: connecting to your prospect's personality, their core values, their ideas, their already held, cherished beliefs. They've already got this stuff in their head. They don't need to be convinced that they love family, that they are spiritual, or that they are smart, or the things that they believe about themselves. They already know that they care about their health. You're just tapping on buttons that are going to push them into a certain direction that they really do want to go into. They just haven't been persuaded enough to do so. Okay? And B, using your own personality to do it. And that's very important. And one of the coolest things about what I'm about to show you is how to use simple stories and how to speak really honestly, just from the hip, so that you come across with your personality. People buy from people. They don't buy from machines, gadgets, when you push a button, this, that, or the other. They buy from people. So the more person that you can put into your personality, the better. Modalities, like I said, refers to the use of sensory language like feel, hear, see, etc., as well as learning structures. Avoid this. Here's how you enjoy this. Here's how to do something. Now, believe it or not, those categories are essential in all good copywriting. In all good sales copy, you'll see multiple uses of modalities. A lot of times in bad copy, I'll see people using the word see all the time. See, this is what I want you to look at. See what I'm talking about right here. There's varying ways to do the sight modality, right? That's not, a lot of people aren't seeing people. They're feeling people or hearing people. And so you want to interchange all this stuff. And don't worry, I'll show you a way to where you don't have to think about this in a moment. The other is the learning structures. Some people are avoid learners. In fact, the mass majority of people that come to your website are looking to avoid some kind of pain. So you need to talk about what to avoid inside a persuasive VSL. But that's not the only thing that motivates people. Enjoyment motivates people too. So you need to talk about, hey, here's how to make this fun. Here's how to make this easy. Those are enjoyable. Those are enjoy modalities. And finally, how do you do it? What's the 1, 2, 3 step? That can be your tips. That can be your suggestions. That can be a blueprint that you give them at the end. That can be your product. Those are all modalities. And rapport is just the art of making someone feel completely understood. Now, people have heard me say this for years, but this is what I call the gold standard of marketing. If you remember anything today, remember this one sentence. Your goal as a marketer, your only goal, if you're wanting to make more sales and have happier customers, is you want to make your prospect feel completely understood. Let me just see, everybody type yes into the chat, the questions box, if you don't mind, if that makes sense to you. If it makes sense that making someone feel completely understood would be like automatic customer. We got literally hundreds of yeses. Okay, yeah, it sounds like common sense, but it's probably something you haven't heard said exactly in that right sequence unless you've heard me speak before. That's vitally important, and that's what we're going to talk about doing today. Now, ethical marketing. The goal here is, like I said, is to compel the prospect into taking action toward a goal or desire that they already have. Someone is hitting a site, for example, for weight loss. They already know they want to lose weight. They just don't know your new mechanism. They don't know that your particular slant on it. If somebody wants to learn how to date better, or somebody wants to learn how to invest money in the right stocks, they already have a goal to do that. So they already have some values that you already know intrinsically that they have. You're going to speak to those values and then leverage them to make your product and their values align. Now, the former, by the way, coercion, excuse me, compelling someone is an act of mutual service. When you compel someone to do something that's good for them, you're serving them and they're serving you. The latter, the coercion, is why people have an icky feeling about salespeople. That's the used car salesman approach, and that's just not going to work. Trust me, ethical marketing will win you more customers in the long run, primarily because you'll get a lot of word of mouth. Now, who am I, and why am I worth listening to? And that's probably a good question to ask. People call me the sales copy samurai. I've been called much nastier things, but I'll leave with that. A wee bit about me, just to let you know who you're listening to. I started in the fitness business in 2004, which feels like forever ago, but yeah, I did. And I went on to build a 7-figure ClickBank business in fitness. And this is selling nothing but $39.95 to $47 ebooks. And this was, I'm going to give you some graphs here and show you what I'm talking about, and then show you the impact and what happens when you include this kind of stuff that I'm going to show you, these 5 steps specifically into your marketing. I'm going to show you a graph here, and I've got ClickBank financials here. Feel free to contact ClickBank to verify this. And I was doing well when I started in 2004. I got lucky. I had one of the best internet marketers take a liking to me and said, I'm going to help promote your book. And so these were the gross sales that we made in 2004, 2005, right around 2005 at the end of that first year. And this is, if you will just follow along the years here, struggling along, kind of making things meet, you know, kind of trying to make ends meet, was having a real trouble with my second book, couldn't get that thing to work that well. And you're saying, oh, it's 157,000, that's not bad. Well, yeah, remember we're paying out 85% commissions, okay? And then all of a sudden, if you see that little red circle, it's right around that period when I created the very first video sales letter for my book, The Every Other Day Diet. And look what happened. And that graph keeps going up all the way to 2015. I'm going to show you that in just a minute. But that's just to give you an idea of the potential of earnings that we're looking at when you have really awesome copy using these 5 steps and you're applying the sequences that I'm talking about that trigger what's known as the yes reflex. The yes reflex gets its name because you are programmed to say no. From the time you are a little baby, you hear the word no roughly 70 to 170 times more than you hear the word yes. Just think about it. How many of you have kids? Say yes if you have kids. And just think about how many times do you say the word no versus the word yes? I mean, a lot. I don't know about you. I heard it all the time. Don't do that. No this, no this. You're programmed, psychologically speaking, to say no upon command. So what we do in clever copywriting is we teach you how to engage what's called the yes reflex. We turn that reflex to say no into a reflex to say yes. And you do it using a term called agreeance. I'm going to get to you, and you're going to get your prospects to agree throughout the entire process so that you feel like you're in a state of agreeance. Agreeance is that nod effect when you're nodding your head yes, like you're probably doing right now. And nodding your head yes, I'm getting that. That's agreeance. And that's why those numbers went up so high. And there's a formula for it that I'm going to share. Now that obviously created the spike in income. And within 1 year of that, I got popular in an industry I never thought I would ever be in. I never started off to be a copywriter, which is good news for all of you who are not copywriters. I would imagine the vast majority of you are not copywriters. It's good because I don't really need to talk to copywriters. I need to talk to people like you who need the skills of a copywriter but don't want to become one and don't want to pay $50,000 to $100,000 to a guy like me to write something with this. Well, within a year of that first VSL, I ended up writing 7 of the top offers in fitness, marketing, education, and dating. And I was still saying, hey, I'm not a copywriter. I just figured out this formula that seems to work. And I reverse engineered it because I really didn't know why it was working. And that became the 3X VSL formula. The 3X method is also called. That's what I'm going to be sharing with you today, every step of it. I'm not going to share like some of the steps. I'm going to share every single step, so you're going to take a lot of notes. Now, that's who I am, so I'll leave it up to you to say, am I worth listening to or not? These are the people that think I'm worth listening to, the people that I have written for or who have gone through my course and that make a lot of money. Agora is a 9-figure a year company from video sales letters. One video sales letter in particular makes 9 figures a year, over $100 million. The same, PIMSOR is about a $70 to $80 million company. I wrote their first letter. Ford uses video sales letters in commercials now. If you haven't noticed that they're doing their F-150 commercials, they're using every word spoken on the screen, and that's just a video sales letter glorified. Digital marketer, Ryan Dice's company, I taught Ryan and Perry all about video sales letters, and they've been using them ever since. They even came out with a little mini course on it, certainly not anywhere near as detailed as what I talk about, but enough to get some people started. And ebooks like Truth About Abs, Pandora's Box, $50 million a year dating site, my own Every Other Day diet, the Venus Factor, which is one of the top products in the world right now. And I can go on and on and on and show you there's literally hundreds and hundreds of people that have been using this, and actually thousands of clients, to the tune of $1.2 billion as of last week. $1.2 billion with a B dollars in annual revenue generated from the formula that you're going to see. Now, video sales letters in general probably do more than that. This is all that I know. This is the numbers that I know, the insider information. I don't know everybody's numbers, and I'm not going to pad the numbers. So I could say, oh, it's probably 3 billion, but I don't know. But I do know it's 1.2. So let me save you some time. Right now, 72 out of the top 100 offers on ClickBank use the formula I'm about to share with you. Think you need it? Say yes if you think you'd like to have this formula. Okay, we're getting a lot of yeses, lots of yeses, yes, 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 yes. Hey, thanks a lot. And somebody say, I'm already a customer. Cool, thanks. Okay, yeah, 72 out of the top 100, pretty darn good. And I've written, coached, or trained using the system I am going to reveal to you today, the top offers in health, dating, finance, internet marketing, and that's what makes up that. It's now 1.2 billion as of last week. I should change that on the slide. But that's what we're talking about today. Okay, if it's a VSL, it's probably this one. I'm going to show you one more thing, then we're going to get into the teaching. I want to prove to you what I'm saying is correct. I took a screen capture of this when I originally created this program. I could have taken the screen capture of this today. It doesn't really matter because these numbers stay relatively consistent. Well, actually, to be completely honest with you, they went up by almost double just the last week because there was a new letter that I wrote that came out. So these are numbers in just ClickBank. Now, if you don't know ClickBank, it's just a digital online merchant. This is the weekly. This is the sales. This is the commissions that come in to me. Okay, the money that comes into my bank automatically. This week was 17 grand. The week before that was 24/7. The week before that was 18/4. The week before that was 14. And I could just go on and on and on. The reason why that first week is because I snapped it right there on the very first day or second day. Now, that's pretty damn good money, right? That's pretty cool. And I'm not saying this to brag. I'm saying this to enlighten you on a couple of really different things. This is only one of my ClickBank accounts. I have 12. And these are primarily the commissions earned on sales either from affiliate offers, but primarily sales earned from royalties of people paying me to write letters. So yeah, this is pretty cool. So that's the kind of money that we're talking about making as someone. If you just have an offer online, you can. I know guys that make more than this with just one offer online. Now I have other ClickBank accounts too, but I just want to show you the one that would deal primarily with this particular niche. Now this is also just the fitness, and I'm primarily in internet marketing. So just to give you an idea of the revenues that we're looking at possibly having for you. Now I have to put a caveat in here because I'm an ethical dude. The stuff I'm teaching you might not make you any money at all. It might make you $1 million a day. I don't know. All I can do is say this. I'm going to give you every fair and equitable chance that I've given literally thousands of other marketers by showing you stuff that normally people pay to see. So I really hope that you use this, and I really hope that it does a lot of good for your business, as it's done a lot of good for thousands of other people. But I can't guarantee it because I don't know what you're going to do with it. You might take all these notes and go home and start watching Game of Thrones. I don't know. I don't know. You might have the weird product that I've yet to see that just doesn't work with a video sales letter. Maybe that could happen. But chances are very great that at the very least you're going to make your marketing better. Is that fair? Everybody good? Okay, now remember, I started with nothing but a passion and an idea, okay? Nothing but a passion and an idea, and that's where these numbers come from. So before we dive into showing you what's inside Sellerator and showing you the training tools that we're going to be using to teach these 5 steps, what the hell is Sellerator? What does that mean? Why did I choose that brand? It just stands for accelerated selling. It's selling faster. And this happens for you through the use of automation, engagement, and what I call spontaneous production, as you're about to see. When you go through the Sellerator software system and it teaches you this formula and teaches you, not only teaches you the formula, as you see, it actually gives you the copy. It does so and teaches you at the same time while you're actually creating something. So rather than going through a tedious course, you're actually pushing buttons, choosing things, learning stuff, and when you're through, out comes a PowerPoint or Keynote slide that's got your VSL ready to go. So that's what I call spontaneous production. It accelerates the selling process because you just can't do this any faster No matter how, okay, that's what I can guarantee you. It doesn't get any faster than what I'm about to show you. It is the ideal combination of short video tutorials, proprietary online software that generates what you learn into a video sales letter, and we also have personal coaching one-on-one. And the one-on-one coaching comes with our VIP thing, but that, you know, we just want to go the extra mile for those that want the VIP and make sure that you follow through. Follow through and implementation is huge. How many, just say yes and be honest. Let's just be really honest before we dive into the tutorial. In fact, that's the next slide, so don't worry. Let's be really honest. How many of you have trouble following through with stuff? Just be honest. Like you bought a course and it's sitting on your desk. How many? Okay. Lots of yeses, right? Yep, me too, got it, Okay, so I have literally got right now, and this is embarrassing, I'm looking to my right, and I'm looking at one of the best courses I know of for copywriting, written by a friend of mine, and I have yet to open anything more than the first DVD. For one thing, it's freaking DVDs. I don't have a DVD player. I don't know who has these anymore. But right next to it is another course that I've never opened, and on top of that is the Kindle cash flow system, which I know is an awesome freaking course because I know the guy that made it, and I have yet to open it. So I am guilty as charged. Well, what I'm about to show you is something that's going to help you not only learn stuff, but actually do it. Because that's what we found, that software and coaching and kind of guiding you through it, man, when you do that, you're 80% of people get it done as opposed to 8%, okay? A lot. So what I'm going to do right now is I'm going to exit the screen, and I'm going to actually take you right over into this. Just say yes if you can see the screen, please. And this is the inside of the sellerator software. Very clean, very slick, very cool. And I'm going to go through just a brief little tutorial here on just what you would do when you get in is you would click the Getting Started menu, and you would go through these assignments and just get started. But we don't really have time to cover that today. We're just going to dive into step one. And hopefully you have your PDF in front of you. If you don't, that's okay. Just write down everything I'm going to tell you. There are 5 steps to the VSL, what I call Yes Reflex formula. 5 steps. The first one's called the Snap Suggestion. The second one's called the Vital Connection. The third one is the Big Problem. The fourth is the Bigger Solution, and the fifth is the Grand Offer. And I'm going to explain each one of these in detail, so do not worry, okay? You guys ready? Here's what's cool. In Sellerator, you would click this button, and it would load the video that you would want to watch. Here's your tutorial, and then you just come down here, and you could literally select your copy. So it would be a lot easier. And once you do that, by the way, if you come over here, you would just see this right here. If I would see, I hit the wrong button. That's printing my video sales letter. I don't want to do that. If I want to show all the copy here, this is what it would produce. So in other words, it would just produce all your slides right in here manually. So I accidentally logged myself out. I apologize. So now that's pretty impressive. But I'm going to show you something that's even more impressive. We're going to get through this very, very quickly. And obviously, I can't show you all the copy, so we're just going to hide this. This was actually just, there we go. And let's just get through this, and I'll teach you every little thing inside these systems. So I'm not just going to tell you, oh, the first thing is the Snap Suggestion. I'm going to tell you what it is and the components underneath it right here, okay? Snap Suggestion. The reason it got its name is because this is where you want to interrupt somebody's attention. You want to grab someone's attention the moment that they hit your website. Now, here's what's going to be a little bit shocking for you to hear. The people hitting your website probably are expecting something related to what you're selling. I know, it's really shocking, right? That's not a good thing. It's not a good thing because they're coming with expectations, and more than likely they're coming from a visual medium of some sort. They're coming from watching a YouTube channel, or they were on Facebook, they see an ad, maybe they are in their email and they click a link, whatever. It's some sort of visual medium, right? They're on their cell phone. That's 50% of your customers this year. 50%, man. So on your cell phone. So the moment that they hit your video sales letter, you've got about 5 seconds to grab their attention. And this is where this comes in right here, the pattern interrupt and attention phrase. Without this, you're dead in the water. That's why I spend 38 minutes talking about it, to teach you all the psychology behind what creates a pattern interrupt. Now, the Snap Suggestion gets its name because if you were like standing in a group of, imagine this, you're walking up to a group of people and they're in a huddle and they're talking. And there's 5 or 6 people, and you don't know any of these people, right? And they're talking, and you're engaged in a really deep conversation, and you walk up into the middle of you kind of stick your hand into the middle of the group, and right when everyone's just kind of looks at you and you go, you snap your fingers. What do you think happens? Two things. Number one, you look like an insane fool. People think that you should probably escape from a mental institution. But you've snapped them out of whatever they're concentrating on, and you've got their attention. But there's a second thing that happens. Another thing that happens is their subconscious mind briefly becomes open to suggestion. Now, I am not going to talk about hypnosis, even though hypnosis is a really interesting copywriting technique. What I'm saying is this particular tool that is an NLP-based tool, neuro-linguistic programming tool, allows you the prospect's mind to be temporarily open to an idea. Now, it's not a nefarious idea. All you're going to do is agree with what they already want. You're just going to tell them that they're in the right place. And there's many ways to do this. You can do this with an image. You can do this with an image that makes no sense and tell them that that image is going to show them the secret to making more money online, to getting the trim waistline that they've always wanted, whatever your product or service is. That's one way of doing it. Another way of doing it is just to sit there and you just label out the promises. But you've got to get their attention first. It's very important. I wish we had time to go into this in detail because literally this is a workshop in itself, but I'm going to have to move on. Your next step is called your big promise. When you click your big promises, this is going to show up inside. You just click it here. This would show up inside just like this, and your next one's going to show up just like this. So every time you click, it just takes you to the next step inside Sellerator, but we're just going to go through just what this is all about. So your big promise is, that, first of all, you want to start with why you want to watch this now. You want to watch the video now for a reason. That's very important to tell them, watch this now so that you can discover blank. Now, there is a formula I'm going to give you right here. And it's a positive benefit formula. That's all it is. So we're going to talk about 2 to 5 slides where you're going to go through and say, you're going to watch this now because you're going to find out how to empower your website with words that get cash without spending 2 to 5 months trying to write something and pulling your hair out. Now that's an example off the top of my head. All I did was take something positive and couch it inside the word without right here and included some negative effects. So you're going to, inside this free presentation, you're going to watch this now so you can discover how to lose weight without counting calories, without cardiovascular, without doing excessive cardio, and without even going to the gym. Now that's an example of using 3 negative things. People that this again, you know your audience. You know, or you should know, what the things that they hate the most about trying to achieve the goals that they're wanting to achieve. If you don't know, survey your list. Find out. Ask people on Facebook. Ask a group. Get a group of people together that have similar interests. What's the one thing that's holding you back from achieving X is the question. What's the one thing holding you back from achieving X? Once you know that, and everybody's different, so you'll have like 10 of them. You can pick the top 3 and go, you're going to learn how to achieve X without negative, negative, negative. And that's going to cause somebody to really want to stick around. That's the benefit formula. That's why you want to watch this now, and here's why. Here's the benefit formula. That's your big promise. You're going to promise them a solution to the problem that they're having. And this is the solution right here inside this simple benefit formula. It's very quick. So again, we're talking about within the first 30 seconds of your VSL, these are the first series of slides. Your first minute of your VSL is by far and away the most important minute. So actually the first 5 seconds, you've got to get their attention. After that, it's the first minute. So this is why we spend a lot of time in these videos to teach you exactly how to create that first minute. Without the first minute, I've seen video sales letters increase 10 times their conversion simply by changing the first 20 slides, roughly the first minute, 10 times. So just that part, in other words, nothing else changed. Okay, this is a very common tactic that I teach as a copywriter. Work on the first 10 slides. That's why this is very important. Now, the next thing you're going to want to do is you're going to want to create scarcity. Now, notice that most of these videos are short, like they're 2 minutes long. They give you the psychology and the persuasion formula that teaches this stuff so that you can go back and you can learn why I'm doing it, or if you want, you can just click here. And you can just pick and choose your copy and then edit to your liking. But I prefer to teach you stuff so that you don't have to, it's not just pick and choose. You can actually create your own copy inside of this. So it becomes very personalized to you. Remember, you're selling with personality. You're selling with your personality. You can use my words. I wrote every word of the copy inside of here. And these words come from some multi-million-dollar video sales letters. By all means, they're some of the most expensive words ever written. You know what I'm saying? They make a lot of money. So use them. But I also want you to use your own words, your own personality. Let that come out. As long as you're inside this formula, you're safe. You're good. Just stick in this formula and you're good. This formula has been proven time and time again to work. Now, scarcity. What is scarcity? Watch this video now, because if you don't, something bad is going to happen. So I have a couple of really cool things about scarcity. I don't like to use false scarcity. Like people say, watch this video now before I start charging $1,000 a head to watch it. I've seen that kind of stuff before. What I do is two things for scarcity I want to share with you. First of all, I constantly want to change my video sales letter. Like I'll change the first 20 slides, so it's not a big change. So I will say, watch this version of this presentation right now, because any day now I'm going to take it down. Well, that's true. I want to take down this version of the video sales letter. I'm putting a new one up. Watch this version now. And I try to put something really good in that first 20 slides, like not something that's just cheesy, but something that they're, a tip that I want to give them, something really, really cool that really is a good reason to watch that particular version of the VSL. Another one that I used by accident, but it ended up being the truth. So in other words, I didn't make it up. This actually happened to me by accident, and then it became such a powerful scarcity tool. I actually put it in here, but don't do this unless it's true. Some video sales letters I've written have gotten so much flack from Google and Facebook because they just don't like persuasive copy. They really don't. They have a kind of thing against that. It's very difficult to get past these guys because they want their users to have this really smooth experience. They've got a kind of a weird fictional brain when it comes down to what the internet is about. But so I will put you got to watch this video now because there's a certain search engine that's really out to take this down. I mean, every single day I'm getting emails saying, hey, your advertising is gone. You got to take this down. And that was true. And that ended up being one of the best scarcity formulas ever. But in case none of those appeal to you, I gave you a lot of them here. Now, after that, you're going to want to tell your user why this is something completely different. Why is this something that he or she has never heard before? Okay? That's going to overcome their reaction to, oh, I know what this is. Oh, yeah, this is probably a low-carb diet. Oh, that's paleo. Or this is one of those financial get-rich-quick schemes. Or that's whatever you sell. This is what you're going to say in here. You may think, which is, by the way, an NLP command. Now, I don't have time to teach you guys all there is to know about NLP. I will just say this, that in almost every slide, not every slide, in almost every slide, embedded commands and NLP tricks, you can call them tricks if you want, you're not tricking someone, you're just speaking to their subconscious mind, is inside every one of this. So you don't have to know this stuff, but I want to educate you guys since you're just on here right now, and in case you want to do this on your own. You may think is actually a command. I'm telling them that, giving them permission to think. That's literally what your subconscious mind is hearing. So, but I'm also doing it to set up this, you may think you've heard this before. However, you may think you've seen it all and tried it all when it comes down to dieting. However, you've not seen anything like this. I guarantee it. So that's really what you want to say. You might, in whatever your service or product happens to be, of course. So you want to give them a really good reason why it's something different. You don't want to tell them what it is. Just tell them it's unlike anything they've ever seen before. And here's the final cool trick here. And if you watch this presentation until the very end, you'll learn something that hardly anyone anyone knows when it comes down to whatever it is and doing it faster. So whatever you're doing, whatever you're selling and doing it faster, to creating a funnel and doing it faster, to losing weight and doing it faster, to creating copy and doing it faster. And so what I've done there is I've embedded another command to get them to watch until the very end. So this is the first, say, minute of your VSL. And right before we go into this we close by let's make a deal. And the let's make a deal is really cool. All it is another NLP command where it says remember. And all you're going to do is repeat exactly what you've already promised in one condensed sentence. Remember, you're going to discover the secret behind why people are losing weight all over the world, or whatever it may be. And you're going to do it, and you're going to find out why it's a lot easier than you think it is. Okay, so stick around and watch what I'm doing. Deal? And you end with the word deal. Deal is, again, an NLP term, but it's also like when I say, hey, I'm going to show you guys exactly how to create a video sales letter. I'm going to go really fast, but you're going to get every step, okay? Deal? Your natural reaction when I say deal is to go, yeah. What is that? That's agreement. That's what we were talking about earlier. That's creating the yes reflex right from the very beginning. We create agreements right from the start inside these, and I didn't show you all the copy. There's a lot of copy in here that gets people to shake their head yes. You end with deal. That's it. This step one, the snap suggestion, we're done. Now we can move on to step two, the vital connection. What is the vital connection? The vital connection is all about rapport. Rapport. This is building that, remember that golden rule of marketing that I'd like you to come away with. Your goal is to make your prospect feel completely understood. If you've done that, you've won the game. And it all starts by creating rapport. At this point, it's called the modest introduction, the very first slide. Now, you probably see, if you've watched video sales letters, you've heard this before because this is the technique I pioneered. It's like, it's a modest introduction. So rather than saying, hi, I'm John Benson, I've written copy, I'm a billion-dollar copywriter, and I live in a mansion, and I drive 16 Ferraris, and I have women everywhere, and you know, I've seen sales pages that are almost that bad. You know, you get the guy, he's got the multiple cars, and you know, the dude on the boat with the bikini-clad women and everything. That's not a modest introduction. You know, that's going to turn off a lot of people really quickly. And the people that you do sell from that are customers you don't want. Trust me. You can get much better response and get those same guys, by the way, using the I wasn't always technique. And it's so simple. It's so simple. All it is this. You know, first of all, my name's John, and I just use my first name. And I wasn't always considered the world's top copywriter. In fact, far from it. I sucked at copy. I started off as someone that just couldn't form two sentences. So you see how I'm going? It's a very modest, playing yourself down thing. But what I did is I wasn't always, and your brain is just set up to hear the next thing. I wasn't always, you know, the world's top fitness instructor. I'm not. I'm just making this up. I wasn't always the world's top financial analyst and called by banks in to tell them how to make more money. That's how you want to introduce yourself. In fact, I used to suck, and that's basically what you want to do. Because remember, they want to feel understood. You're not going to make your prospect feel understood if you're talking over their heads. If you're saying, you know, I'm way up here, guys, way up here. Look up here. It doesn't work. People get a crick in their neck. What you want to do is to say, hey, I'm a lot like you. I wasn't always this guy. I was a lot like you. So if I can do it, the implication is that you can do it too. And here's where we really drive that home. And this is what VSLs became very famous for, the nightmare story. Believe it or not, every product, every service has one. It's either your personal story or your customer's personal story of how he or she went from rock bottom to success. But it's the journey to the rock bottom that we're interested in, the lowest point. Now, I have done nightmare study case studies with hotel chains. Like this guy said, I own a chain of hotels. There's no nightmare story. Oh, you want to bet? Have you ever stayed in a hotel? You could tell a nightmare story from from like, for example, he wants to sell his hotel. He said, you know, I went to stay at a hotel once, and let me tell you, it was just terrible. And he tells a story, and people can relate to that story. In personal development stuff, whether it be financial, make more money, success online, internet marketing works really, really well. Dieting that's what I got started in, is in weight loss. Works really, really well. And what I'm going to do is I'm just going to briefly cover the nightmare story that I would use for a diet. And I'm going to talk off the top of my head. I know this like it is the back of my hand. And I'm going to hover over the parts where I'm talking so that you'll know where I'm at. This is broken into these sections: an overview, introduction, bad part, really bad part, declare independence, and the moral journey. So here's what that looks like. So it starts here. You know, I'm going to go into the fitness mode. You know, I wasn't always a guy that you would see on the cover of a men's fitness magazine. In fact, I used to be really, really obese, and I was actually really sick to the point of near death. I actually had a heart attack, if you can believe that or not. So if you believe me, if you're thinking to yourself, I can't do this, then you need to hear my story. I think you can relate to it. You know, I remember this day. This is the introduction. I remember the day really clearly. It was December the 2nd, 1997, and I remember that date because I remember looking at the calendar and saying, wow, I can't believe it's almost already the end of the year, and my New Year's resolution that I made 11 months ago still hasn't happened. I'm 15 pounds larger. What's going on here? Well, I looked down at my belly and I realized, this is the bad part, not only are you 15 pounds larger, but John, the doctor just said, you're going to die before you hit 40. Wow. Now, I tell you, that news really struck me hard. So what did I do? I got in my car and I decided to drive to the nearest Burger King. And I just had to have myself a burger. Well, Burger King was closed, so I decided, you know what? I'm having a sugar craving, so I'm going to find just the nearby 7-Eleven. So I go into the 7-Eleven, and this is the really bad part. I go into the 7-Eleven, and I walk in, and I get 4 packets of Ding Dongs. Those are those, like, they look like donuts, kind of, only they're circle and they're chocolate. They're full of cream. I got 4 packets of them because 8. It wasn't enough to eat 1. I had to eat 8. I was addicted. And I walked by, as I walked in that store, I walked by 2 prostitutes that were standing outside. And I hate to say it, and I'm not trying to be judgmental, but I could tell both these ladies were on crack cocaine. And as I picked up the donuts or the ding-dongs, I thought to myself, you know what? You're no different than they are. You've sold yourself out. You've sold yourself out to a lifestyle of completely unhealthy lifestyle, and you're addicted to your own version of crack cocaine. You're addicted to sugar. You're no different. So and then it got, if you think that's really bad, I'm feeling really, really bad, it gets even worse. I'm still in the really bad part, by the way. It gets even worse. I went to pay for it, and I left my wallet at my office. Luckily enough, I checked, there was a couple of people in front of me in line. I found I didn't have my wallet. I walked back, and I stuffed all of them inside my jacket. And I walked out the front door and stole them. I stole them. Now, I came back the next day and paid the guy. But I'm lucky I didn't go to jail. That's how much of an addict I was. Declaration of Independence. That moment was the moment where I decided I am drawing the line in the sand. No more am I going to allow my life to be lived through the lens of obesity and addiction to sugar. I'm going to figure out how to lose this weight even if I die trying. And I drew a line in the sand, man. When I drew the line in the sand, everything changed for me. And I decided, you know what? I'm going on a journey. I'm going to figure out everything I need to do in order to lose weight. And then when I figure it out, I'm going to share it with the rest of the world. And that's why you're watching the story. Okay, so that was off the top of my head a nightmare story. Say yes if you thought that was pretty cool. So your nightmare story can be short. That's a medium-sized nightmare story. It can literally be like 5 slides. You can just say, I remember a time when I was totally broke, and my wife and I had to live on a friend's couch to pay our bills, and then I learned what I'm about to show you, and over the course of a year, I built up a multi-million-dollar portfolio. Okay, that's a really short nightmare story. I like ones, especially if you're selling interpersonal stuff, you want to get personal. Because everyone listening was probably listening like, I can't believe this is true. You want that effect because this separates you from every other person out there. There's no diet book on the shelf, I use the diet book analogy, that could possibly just leap off the shelf and tell someone that. Most websites aren't going to go that way. They're going to look like you're going to be the expert dude, the dude with the abs, or the girl with the great body. They're not this person. And that's what they want to relate to. That is relation through ethical persuasion. Then the next step is your transition into your big problem. Your audience has a problem, and I'm going to talk about that in just a moment. All the transition is you're going to remind the viewer that you're just like them, but you have a solution. So I just right after the nightmare story, I said, just remember, if you're thinking that I'm different than you, remember, I just showed you I might be a lot worse. And the only difference between you and I is I have a system. I figured out a blueprint, a formula, whatever you want to call it. And then you go to about the system. Now, I'm going to show you a little bit about the system. This system incorporates a really unique thing. And this really unique thing, this is the about the system part, is called the new mechanism. The new mechanism, this is a really neat system because it's something new. It incorporates what I call caloric staggering. Now, I'm going to tell you more about caloric staggering in just a moment. So keep watching. What did I just do? That's an NLP command, keep watching, but I also opened a loop. I'm going to tell you more about this new thing in just a moment. Why? Well, because I want them to keep watching. By the way, if you look through the copy in here, that's all provided, again, see, you will find this already done for you. But in case you want to do this on your own, I'm giving it to you. This is how I would do it. So yeah, you want to do this, but that's the cool thing about the system. Now you've opened a loop, and they're going to keep watching. And then you get to the results of the system. And you want, when people apply, when men and women apply, notice how I changed it from people to men and women, just off the top of my head? Because you're not talking to people. You're talking to a man or a woman. So when you say, when men and women just like you, and you can say that, because the subconscious will only hear men if it's a man, woman if it's a woman. When men and women, just like you, apply this caloric staggering principle, the results are often amazing. 10, 20, 30-pound weight loss, et cetera, et cetera. That's just a very short description of the results of the system. And the final transition phrase is simply going to walk people into what their big problem is. And this phrase is really, really simple, okay? It's like this. I'm going to give you just the example here. So I'm going to share all the specifics with you in just a moment. But first, I need to let you in on what the real problem is today. It's not what you think. You have a problem, but it's not what you think. And that's going to take us into step 3, guys. Step 3 is the bigger problem. Notice how I set it up. That's going to lead to the real problem. Now, why am I doing that? Well, I'm going to talk about inside this section what's called a conspiracy cycle. And I love conspiracy theories. I don't love them legit. In other words, people that think we didn't land on the moon or whatever. It's fascinating to me to hear why people think that stuff. But when it comes down to a product, a service, a good, guess what? There is always a villain. And no one wants to blame themselves. And I had a moral dilemma with that, and I figured out the answer. And write this down. By the way, this is in the copy inside Sellerator, but in case you guys don't get this, I want to give it to you. The answer to saying this is your fault without saying that, because 4 words that you hear all the time, it's not your fault. It's not your fault is right here. In fact, it's right there inside this particular slide sample. It's important to say that. However, I add this. It's not your fault. As soon as you learn what I'm about to share with you, it's going to be your responsibility, because now you will have the answer. That's good. You want to make it their responsibility, but it's not their fault. So that gets both done. Now, you can also say, look, it's not entirely your fault. So in case, for example, I use weight loss a lot because I come from that. Again, this works for any industry. You can throw out a name of an industry and I could rattle this stuff off. But so weight loss is just second nature. So I could say, look, the weight gain that you're experiencing right now, not all of this is your fault. And I'm going to tell you what the real problem is. And this is where we're going to go into this. This is fun. The real problem, this is the overview. I'm going to do the same thing right here that we did before. The overview. Okay, this is just all about how you set up. This is just a video that teaches you the conspiracy theory model and the conspiracy cycle. There's no slides that you create here. This is just a tutorial that just teaches you basically what I just told you, that there is a big problem and it's not their fault. It's the fault of something else that's causing the problem. And I'll give you a legitimate, totally real example for weight loss. It is a lot of people are overweight simply because, number one, you've been fed a bag of lies from the government. And believe me, anything you can say bad about the government is great. So it just really does great for sales on either side of the political fence. But it's true. In this case, My Plate is now, it's called My Plate. Before that, if you guys are older, you might remember the food pyramid. Yeah, that's a bunch of crap, man. It's the worst possible diet you can imagine. And the reason why I told the story inside my VSL, the reason why it got that way is because the grain industry has been subsidized by the government, so it pays the government to say eat 11 servings of grain a day, which is ridiculous. No one needs that. So a lot of things that you've been told are lies. And look at the media. Look at the magazines that little girls look at from the time they're toddlers until they go through high school, thinking that that's the perfect body. How many women have destroyed their bodies trying to look like some anorexic model on the cover of a magazine? Do you see what I'm doing? I'm not making anything up. Don't lie, please. Lying is unethical. I'm telling the truth. And I'm saying that's why your weight problem is not all your fault. And you might have inherited some genes that cause weight, that can cause a lot of weight gain, and that's true. There are weight gaining genes. We all know that. So once that's the conspiracy cycle, essentially. So the big lie is what we want to talk about now. What is the big lie? The big lie is the big thing that they believe that's not true. This is the transition. This is where you want to start. You may believe right now that weight gain is totally about calories in, calories out, and that is a big fat lie. The real problem with weight gain is blank, whatever that blank is. Let me do this for any industry. You may believe that dry cleaning, your best solution for dry cleaning is to go to an expensive dry cleaner. Well, that's a big fat lie. The real solution is blank, and it's the same thing. And how did this lie get started? That's the lie loop. Well, how did this lie get started? It gets started in the magazines. It got started here. So people love this kind of stuff. They love gossipy, juicy stories. Just make it real. Every product out there, every service out there I've ever seen has a nefarious backside to it. Oh my gosh, internet marketing? Are you kidding me? I can do this off the top of my head, like, because you guys are all internet marketers. I go, listen, you may believe that the reason why you're not making the money that you deserve to make online is because you haven't bought enough traffic. Or maybe you don't have the latest course on building some XYZ thing. No, it's a lie. The real reason, and this is the loop, the real reason is that you don't have words that get cash working for you, because more than likely you can't afford to pay $50,000 to $100,000 to a guy like me to give them to you. And there's hardly any courses out there that not only teach you how to do it, but to actually give you the words and show you how to do it. So it's not your fault. And now we're back down to it's not your fault. So we built the conspiracy. These marketers are out to make millions of dollars, and they do, selling traffic courses to people that don't need traffic. They need freaking sales pages. Buying a traffic course before you have a sales page that works is sort of like buying tires for a car you don't have. I mean, are you serious? You need the freaking car first, okay? So this is the freaking car. This is the engine. This is what makes things go. Sales copy. Get it? Very important. Now, that's the reason why the success that you're wanting and just you're suffering through, the results you're suffering through, they're not your fault. You've been led into a lie. So if you want, and this is the blame this, if you want to blame anything, don't blame yourself. Blame these greedy marketers. Blame these guys that just have another course to sell that's all about like the whiz-bang thing, whatever the hot thing is right now. Maybe the hot thing is Amazon ebooks, and so there's, oh, now I've got the Amazon ebook thing, and this guy's only done it once, but he's going to sell it to you for $19.97. Blame those guys. Don't blame yourself. And the big truth is that without X, Y will never happen. So that's the equation there. The big truth is this. Without, in my case, words that get cash working for you, you will never achieve. You will never get out of the cycle. You will never get out of the big problem. That's the big truth. Now, here's where we're going to get into the bigger solution. The bigger solution is always, always bigger than your problem. But I want to emphasize one thing inside the big problem section before we continue, okay? And by the way, guys, just let me know how I'm doing. You guys enjoying this? You guys getting a lot out of this? Going really fast? Awesome. Awesome. Yes. Let me see how, just give me some praise. Give me some love, folks. Give me some love. Okay, cool, cool, cool. Getting some love, getting some love. Awesome. Thank you guys for paying attention. Thank you guys for paying attention. I'm sorry, Guy, you had an emergency. I hope you come back. I hope everything's okay. So, one big thing in the big problem, and please underscore this in your notes. You want to make the problem a lot bigger than the customer thinks it is. That's the one thing I forgot to cover. So when I start talking about the problem, and by the way, I do this in the Big Truth, so my apologies for not covering that in the Big Truth. You can put it on the Big Truth. You can put it anywhere inside the cycle. You can even put it in your nightmare story. But what I did with my problem is I took a problem of weight loss in my example and turned it into addiction because that was the truth. And then I will do the same thing. I'll turn it back to you and say, so if you think your only problem is that you're overweight, think again. You've got a really strong chance of catching heart disease, diabetes, cancer. You make the problem much bigger than what they think it is. And it's not just that. Your significant other will lose respect for you. And a lot of marriages actually end because of body issues. It may sound vain, but it's the way that people work. So I'm just talking truth. I'm not making stuff up, right? I'm just telling the truth. And the truth is really freaking scary. It's like, look, if you want to make and your kids are looking at you. Your kids are role modeling you. Do you want your kids to grow up like this? So it's okay to twist the knife a little bit, okay? That is the thing. You want to make the problem bigger than they think it is. But the solution is bigger than the problem. So the good news is now it's time to bring people out of the doldrums and into the good news. And you're going to do it by going, great, I have a solution that's going to work for you. In fact, I'm going to give you 3 tips right now. And I'm going to give you 3 tips, and this is the open tip loop. I'm going to give you 3 tips that's going to help you get started today doing blank, whatever that is. And the last tip is the most important. That's the open tip loop. You want to open a loop. An open loop just means that you start an idea that you'll finish later. So I'm going to say, in the last tip, but you've got to stick around for the last tip because it's the most important one of all. So keep watching. You see what I'm doing throughout the whole thing? I'm continually reminding people to keep watching. So this is the 3-tip overview. Very simple. You can watch this video. It'll cover exactly how to use those buyer modalities, the yes, reflex stuff. All of this is covered inside this video. Obviously, it's 26 minutes long. We don't have time to go into it, but I will go over the 3 tips. There are 3 tips and use 3 modalities. And here's the exact structure right here. The exact structure. There's an avoid tip, an enjoy tip, and a how-to tip. So your very first tip to getting people again, your video sales letter needs to be educational. So if you're saying, okay, I want to teach you how to make more money online, I'm going to give you a tip right now. First thing you want to do, by all means, you want to avoid blank, whatever that blank is. Name your business. Someone just type in what you do online. Type in anything. Type in anything. Okay, you guys there? Okay. Okay, financial services. Okay, where is it? Financial services. Okay, great. So just take that one. All right. So financial services. So you help people make money. I'm going to assume, Roy. So tell me if that's correct. So now, the very first thing you want to do if you want to make more money from using finances smart is you want to avoid at all cost buying penny stocks or whatever. That's all there is to it. Now the important thing comes into why that is so important. When I talk about avoiding something, your heart skips a beat. It does. When I say, you know what, here's the one reason you're not succeeding. Here's the one thing that you're not doing right online. And I guarantee you, if you don't avoid this, you're going to end up in the poorhouse. You're going to end up really frustrated and just giving up. And here's what it is. and you're just wanting me to tell you that. Okay, I'm just making this up. Well, actually, I could say poor sales copy. That would be something to avoid. Not putting money into sales copy. Definitely avoid that. But seriously, that is a very huge thing. And the reason we use that is because 75% of our motivation comes from avoiding pain. So please write that down. 75% of human motivation is from avoidance of pain. Only 25% is from the gain of pleasure. So you start with what to avoid. That's the reason why subject lines that say avoid this food at all costs works a lot better than eat this food and feel better. It's just the way that we're wired. I don't like it, but it is the way that we're wired. So here's the formula. It's very simple. You tell them what to avoid, why avoid it. Just one slide. Why do you want to avoid this? First of all, what specifically is it? So in other words, if I say avoid the penny stock routine, why do you want to avoid this? Because it's going to send people into the poorhouse. I'm making this stuff up. Well, first of all, what is penny stocks? And you just define what it is. How do you avoid it? This is your tip section. You just say, well, here's how you avoid this at all costs. You want to buy this instead, or that instead, or that instead. And the result, when you do this, the result, and this is what's really cool, this is all future pacing. All these slides are here, by the way. If I click this, I just come down here and click and choose. But I'm just telling you what's inside of them as briefly as I can, because obviously you don't have time to go through every slide and every copy. But the result, what is the result when you avoid it? And you want to future pace this. That's the mini dream story. So imagine waking up tomorrow and looking at your stock portfolio. And you looked at your stock portfolio and what happened? Wow, you're up 42% today. Okay, that's future pacing in a ridiculous way. I know you're not up 42%, so no one shoot me. But that's the idea. So you want to give them the result of that. And that's it. That's the formula. You're going to apply the same formula to the next tips. Next, you want to say, well, here's how you can enjoy savings. Because I don't know about you, but when I think about saving money, it just conjures up it used to conjure up these fears of like drudgery and I can't ever take a vacation. I'm going to show you a really cool tip to enjoy it. And you do the same exact formula. Because again, you want to tap into the 25% of the modalities that want to enjoy something. And finally, and this is the really juicy one, this is the tip that makes all the other tips work. Without this tip, you might as well not even bother with tips 1 and 2. How do you do it? It's my how-to tip. Here's exactly how you create financial wealth that you want. And really what this tip is an introduction right into your offer. Your offer is the grand offer. It's by far the longest part of the course, so we're going to dive into that in just a second. But I want to make sure that you're all with me. Everybody good? Everybody good? We're going to dive into this last part here, the grand offer. But I want to make sure that everybody good. Say yes if you can hear me. Cool. Yes. Everybody good. Yes. Awesome. Awesome. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Okay. So the how-to tip is exactly that. So first, you want to do this. Second, do this. And third, most important, you need software and a system that will work for you. And that's why everyone here should buy Sellerator. Okay, so I just did this for my own product, obviously. So that's the how-to tip. One of my tips is, yeah, you need automation. That's one of my tips in the video sales letters. You need automation. You need a proven path that's already done for you. So why reinvent the wheel when it's already done for you? This is the fastest and simplest way to do it. So that is the how-to section, and that is the bigger solution. So that's how we transition into the grand offer. We introduce our offer just like I just did, and it starts with the product. There are 6 components to your offer, and this is going to be a little daunting looking, and I apologize for that in advance. But the reason why I created this is because check this out. That's just the parts just for the product. You got product, price, call to action, pain, pleasure, action, results, samurai, Q&A. You've got quite a few components here, guys. You want to make sure you get as many of these in your close as possible, because let me give you the news right now. Without step 5, very much like the tips I just gave you, steps 1 through 4 are pretty much useless. You have to close. Without a powerful close, forget about it. Nothing gets sold. Nothing's going to happen. And this is where you need to pull the gloves off. It's time to sell your product. You've already engaged your prospect. You've given them fantastic information. You've built rapport with them. Now it's time to say, I have the bigger solution to that big freaking problem, and it's called blank. And this is the sections that we have tested literally thousands of times. Please copy this. Product. The very first thing is the overview and formal introduction. Hey, we have the solution, and it's called Sellerator. Sellerator is the first and only, the primary VSL creation software tool that has allowed $1.2 billion in revenue for online clients everywhere. That's just a formal introduction. That's all it is. That's this and the USP. That's the 2 steps I just did. That's what I call a formal introduction. By the way, if you want to do a more formal introduction, you can say, my name is John Benson. I am the CEO of XYZ, and the product, and now I want to introduce you to our flagship product, Sellerator. Sellerator is the first product of its kind, blah, 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 and you get into the USP. What is a USP? Unique selling proposition. You want to have a USP, and I actually have a little miniature course inside here called the USP Factory, which will teach you how to create a very compelling USP. Something where when you read it, you go, oh, I got it. So, for example, my USP for the Every Other Day Diet was it's the world's first and only book, the first and only plan that allows you to eat your favorite foods and still lose weight. So those are all very important words. The sequence of those words are very important. The next step is this works even if, okay? Here's where you cover objections, okay? Everyone's got objections to a product. It doesn't matter at this point if they know they want it, they still have objections. Somebody's thinking, well, I'm hypothyroid if they're struggling with weight, or maybe you're thinking right now, I don't have time to do this, or I don't think I can write any sales copy even if it was given to me. This is what you cover here by saying this, but you don't cover it in a negative, you cover it in a positive. And this is one of the biggest selling points inside Sellerator, inside this formula. So I'm going to use Sellerator as an example. Sellerator works even if you never want to look at a piece of copy ever in your life. You've never studied a copywriter. You don't even know what the word copywriting means. It works even if, and just go down the list of all the objections that I know that people have toward purchasing a product that basically teaches you how to write better sales copy. All the objections. If you don't think you have enough time, if you think this, if you're too busy at this. And I try to phrase them positively. If you're a super busy man or woman running your business and you know your time is valuable, it works even then. See what I did? I turned something negative into a positive. As much as you can do that, do it. Copy that's written in a positive usually performs better than copy that's written in a negative, unless you're talking about something that's negative, of course. So that's the works even if. And just go down the list until you get to the very last thing and you say, and it works even if you think you've tried everything. So you just cover everything. You basically cover the whole gamut of reality there. That's how you end this. Then you go into what it isn't, okay? And I want to kick some tire kickers out now. This is where I want to say, if you're a tire kicker, it's time for you to leave. So let me, but here's what I'm really doing. Encircle this on your notes. I'm building a social club. I am building a social club. I am going to convert people right now into my own social club because I'm going to tell them who isn't invited, and who isn't invited is exactly not the person watching, and that's the goal. So this is what I do. Look, let me just tell you what Sellerator isn't. Sellerator is not a push a button, out pops some cheesy script, $40 application that puts out something that looks like your grandmother wrote it. No. Sellerator is not a tool for the timid. Sellerator is not a tool for people that just want to make a little bit extra online. It's really for people that really want to succeed and succeed in a major way. It's not for people that don't believe in themselves. So I just go down the line. Okay, this is exactly what it's not for. And just in case someone fits that description, it's a good time for them to leave anyway. And you've been lied to enough is a phrase I use in here. Listen, especially with the push button. This is actually as push button as it gets. I mean, literally, you click the button here, and you click this, and I click this, and it would save this over here. Okay, and all I have to do is change the word topic. That's pretty push button, but I don't call it push button because it actually takes work. So if you guys aren't, and I'm using this right on you, if you guys aren't willing to put some elbow grease into your video sales letter, then you probably should stop watching right now, because you will never be successful ever with a video sales, and it's impossible. It's literally impossible. But if you're wanting the best thing that's out there, the fastest and the easiest way to do it, and certainly the most proven formula, then you're in the right place. Now the hero study is really interesting. I really love this. This is an optional section, but it works so well if you can do it. And this is what I did. And for one of my books, I said, look, I went out and researched 52 people. I researched 500 people and chose 52 top men and women from the ages of 40 to 80 who had lost weight and kept it off. And I looked at what they did. I looked at their research. I looked at their studies. So I know this stuff works because it's already proven to work for real heroes, real weight loss heroes. So this is real heroes of weight loss. So that's what makes it really compelling. Is that I'm not just sharing my information. If you've got any information that you've studied, be sure to put that in there. Like right now, I could do this right now for Sellerator. What I did is I analyzed the top 27 video sales letters ever written and dissected that copy, put it into a formula, and that's what you're getting. These are the heroes the real heroes of online marketing. And now you're getting all of their hard work. It works well, doesn't it? You're shaking your head, yes, it works really well. What's the results of the hero study? Let's not just stop there. Here's the results when people go through this. And this is a great time to use if you want testimonials, you can put them in here. But I just say like the results of this is faster, better, easier. And I use a lot of verbs here. A lot of verbs, you know, like quick, easy, simple, you know, that kind of thing. That's what you want to use for the results. Out of the club, and we're going very fast because of time, out of the club. Let's remove even more tire kickers, okay? So check out some of this here. Hey, let me just remind you, if you're looking for a quick fix, or if you already know that you're not going to use this stuff, if you're going to download this, if you're going to get the software and never log in, if you're going to get this program today and you're just going to say, oh, I'll get to it one day, you might as well just leave right now. I don't want your money because I only want to take money for people that I actually help. So again, I'm not only building rapport, I'm kicking people off. I want to kick people out at this point. You only want buyers at this point. So, and that's true if you're not willing to roll up your sleeves and do something. That's out of the club. So I do this twice. I do this in the what it isn't and out of the club. So we've got two different sections in here that kicks people out. So easy as it gets is a huge one. I avoid saying easy unless I say easy as it can possibly be. And I'm going to tell you flat out, writing a video sales letter is not easy, even with Sellerator. It's not easy. And I'm good. What do you want me to say? Nothing's easy. Ryan will tell you, creating a funnel is not easy. He has every freaking step outlined perfectly, and I guarantee you he will tell you it's not easy. What I think of as easy is walking or turning on the television, or, yeah, good luck with that. If you want to turn on the television answer, go to iwantalivein.fantasyland.com because that's pretty much where you want to reside because it doesn't work that way in the real world. However, this is as easy as it could possibly get. And don't you think that's fair? Yes. So I'm getting agreements. It's fair, right? It's fair to give you something as easy as humanly possible. That's what this is. So that's a better sell than saying easy. Easy is one of the most overused words in copy. And here's the problem with this. There was a book that I wrote the title for that was originally called Super Easy Fat Loss. It didn't sell because people know that fat loss is not super easy. There's some cognitive dissonance when you hear the word easy and something that you're struggling with. So if I say easy online marketing, you're going, wait, if I'm struggling with online marketing and it's easy, part of you wants to believe it, but the skeptic in you goes, no, and this is more important, your ego. Your ego is saying, wait, if it's easy, that means I'm stupid. And seriously, this is what people are thinking. I mean, this is, if you want to study 10 years of psychology, knock yourself out, or you can take my word for it. But this is what people can think psychologically without even knowing it. They can exit right here. Say, look, there's no such thing as easy, but I've made it as easy as humanly possible. Now you're agreeing with me because you know that anything can be made as easy as possible, even if it's not easy. So went into a long story there, but I think it's really important. So we're going to qualify the remaining now. We're going to qualify the remaining, and this is how we do this, rapid-fire slide technique. You want to use literally boom, 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 slides that go like that because we're going for hypnosis, we're going for re-stimulating the brain to pay attention, and so here's how we do it. If you want to make more money online, improve your sales overnight, make things happen for your family, get the college degree you want, whatever it could be, just one thing after the other, one benefit after the other, that's what this is going to be. If that's what you want, you're in the right place. In fact, you can join this club right here, and this is where you bring in your testimonials. Now, let me give you a couple of testimonial, really cool testimonial tips. Use screen captures from like Facebook if you've got a Facebook group site. If you don't have a fan site for your product, you should have one so you can get a lot of testimonials. Screen capture emails. And what I've done, and did it accidentally, is I had a video player, and I grabbed it for one of Ryan Dice's testimonials for my own product, and it just so happened to be Ryan in a video, so I just took a screen capture of the video and stuck it on my page, and the conversions went up. I was thinking, wait, just a second. And then I realized your mind sees that it's a video. So even if it's not a video, and you see the testimonial inside the video, you think, oh, there's a video of this guy saying that. It must be a really good testimonial. This is all under the radar stuff, guys. This is really cool. Anyway, that's a fun way to do testimonials. Definitely take screen captures. I think they're far better than just writing words out next to a picture. Now, you can do that if you don't have it, but this is the best way you can do it. Now you're going to cover what's in the product. This is really simple. There's no point even going over it. Here's what you're going to get today when you download blank. And you just go blank, 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 blank. Here's the trick though. What's really unique about blank is the super thing. The super thing is emphasize X. You're just going to make one thing. The most amazing thing about this product is the so-and-so. And you're going to find the so-and-so on this page or on this slide or whatever it may be. And that so-and-so is your secret weapon to getting this done faster. You want to find something inside your product to emphasize. This is where you do it. And now it's time for the price tease. We're getting to the price, guys. We're almost there. Okay, price tease. I would be completely within my rights to sell this for $10,000. Absolutely. This system has made people literally over $1 billion. So yeah, 10 grand. In fact, Robin Robbins, and this is a true story actually, Robin Robbins, the marketer, said if you don't sell this for $10,000, you're an idiot. She literally, so I must be an idiot because I didn't. But yeah, so it's $10,000. But that's true. And so I actually will say that, $10,000. And before I get to the real price, let me show you 3 more benefits. So again, what did I do there? I teased with the price that's not real, and I told them before I get to the real deal, before I get to the deal I have for you, before you can use multiple words, I include them on the slides, let me share 3 more things that you're going to get out of this. You're going to get bang, bang, bang. Again, benefits. Use the benefit formula we already covered up here for your 3 more benefits. And now it's time to move into the price. The price has fortunately far less options things because at this point you got to introduce the price. But you got to do it right. And there's an optional trick that I use. It's called a faux price. And if you've ever seen a video sales letter do this, you'll get what I mean. In fact, you'll see one in just a few minutes. A faux price is either a price that isn't real at all, or in my case, it's a price that I actually sell something for, like on normal. I'm telling you guys, I'm there's nothing up my sleeves. Literally, I'm wearing short sleeves. But I never discount sellerator. I've done it once. I did it once, like for a ClickBank conference, and I swear I would never do it again because you don't discount Lamborghinis. Ferraris don't go on sale. The Hope Diamond isn't discounted. Sorry. There's no discount. But what I will do is say, if I know I'm coming out with a better edition of something, then I'll say I'm going to give you this edition that's going to cost other people legitimately, $500 more, and I'm going to give it to you. So it's sort of a discount in the future, but it's really cool. So I'll lead with that optional price. I'll say, so that's why this is going to cost you $49.97, and not even talk about that it's not $49.97. So this is what scares people. It scares people when you, like, let's say you do an ebook and you say, that's why I'm really happy to announce the price that we've decided to sell this book for is $97. And you know what? A lot of people are afraid to do that because they're going, oh my gosh, window out, right? Believe it or not, most people don't window out. They're like going, $97, really? Like, and some people are thinking, wow, $97, that's pretty good for all the stuff that, and then when you cover all the bonuses, see, and that's because it comes with all these bonuses. So this is where you put all your bonuses in. And make sure your bonuses are complementary, not competitive. So your bonuses should complement. Never compete. So never try to go, oh, here's your super fast diet bonus. That doesn't work. What do dieters want? They might want tips on buying new clothes. They might want a best place to buy supplements, those kind of things. Same thing with internet marketers. What else would someone want that would be interested in sales copy? Well, I've got a bonus on how to build a funnel. I don't. Let's just say I did. Oh, I got a bonus on traffic. I really do. I've got bonuses on this. So you want to make the bonuses really congruent with your offer, but not competitive. Okay, not competitive. And then you restate the faux price. That's why it's going to cost you, $49.95, whatever you're going to say. Then you go into the cost of loss if you don't take action. So let me remind you of where you're at right now, and this is how you start the cost of loss. Where you're at right now is you're in a situation where, let's face it, you're in a lot of pain. If you're not in a lot of pain right now, you will be in the future because your sales are your life force, and the oxygen in your business is your sales copy. So unless you can take action now, you're going to be stumbling along for the next year, 2, 5 years, if you make it, with dismal or average sales. That's not something you want to do. You don't want to lose, you don't want to risk the cost of a loss of reputation, of confidence in yourself, of your family's confidence in you. You see what I'm doing? All this is true, by the way. You don't want to do that. So let me make this easier for you. Remember when I said $49.97? I'm going to give you a discount today because you've watched this video all the way to the end. Now, again, I don't discount Sellerator, but a lot of ebooks we do this with. We will sell the ebook for $67 and discount it to $47, but we'll actually really sell it for $67. So please do that. Don't do a fake one. I've done a fake one a couple of times. I'm not a saint, but most of the time we do it for real. So I like to do them for real, and it's also really good marketing, by the way, because you can say you could go to my webpage right now. In fact, here's a screen capture of it. It's $67. but I'm going to give you a discount today, and here's the most important thing you can take out of this. Give someone a reason. Even if it's just because you've watched this video all the way in, which is what most people do, I like to give them a much better reason. I like to give them a moral reason. I like to give them a moral reason. I will give you a moral reason for why I discounted one of my diet books. I have a passion to eradicate childhood obesity in my lifetime, and I realize that the children's diets are simply mirror images of the parents. So unless I can help you, I can't achieve my goal. So I want to make this as affordable for you as possible. And that's why the reason for the discount. So that's just an example. And that's why the price dropped down, which you guys probably already know. That's why it's not going to cost you $67. It's not even going to cost you $57. The price reveal is if you look below this video right now, you can get everything you just saw. The bonus is included for only $47. That's it. That's as simple as it gets. And this comes with my triple guarantee. Now, at this point, when you say triple guarantee, believe you me, people's ears perk up. Because what do you immediately think when you hear triple guarantee? Wow, triple my money back, right? That's not what a triple guarantee is. A triple guarantee is simply three reasons why you will refund their money. But it sounds really impressive. It comes with my ironclad triple guarantee. If you don't see the weight loss that you desire within 7 to 14 days of starting the program, or if you don't believe that this is the easiest, most lifestyle-friendly diet that you've ever seen, and then I give a third one that's just ridiculous. Or even if you don't like the layout I use, the font I use, the pictures we use in the book, any reason whatsoever, I'm going to refund your money. That's one of the best guarantees you'll ever use, so please use that. I don't use it all the time. It's just something this is part of the formula, but I really do like it. So that's the price. Now it's time for the call to action, which is simply look below this button, look below the video right now, click on the button that says blank, and I'm going to give you guys one of the best tips you'll ever learn. Button congruency. We have tested this. Marketing Sherpa has tested this. When your button says, click the button that says order now or add to cart, it is literally a 100 to 200% difference in sales when your button is congruent. The lowest I've seen is a 47% increase with a good text on a button. So in other words, if I'm selling a diet book, I'm going to say, click on the button below that says, I want to lose weight today. Doesn't that make sense? Say yes if that makes sense to you. Like for Sellerator, click on the button now that says, I want words that get cash right now. I mean, that's such a better button than add to cart, right? Yes, give me words that get cash. This is a much better button. So please use button congruency. Watch what happens. If you just apply that one tip, your sales will go up, especially if you write. Now test the copy, but yeah, when you test the copy, get the right one, blow your way. More testimonials after the first call to action, and then the big reveal, the super bonus. I saved this for last because if somebody's still, on the fence, I'm going to push them over. I saved my best bonus for the very last bonus. So if you act right now before this video ends, I'm going to include X. That's the super bonus. Inclusion. What do I mean by inclusion? You're going to get a chance to join thousands of internet marketers who have already made more money right from the very first month of getting this program, and you're going to join them, and you're going to be part of that club, that part of the club that's finally overcome the obstacles of selling, and et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. That's inclusion. So all I'm doing is talking to you as in the future and saying, I want you to join this club. This club is a group of people who are making money online using this particular software, or this particular formula, or this particular funnel, or this diet book, or whatever it is that you sell. You want to include them into the success family. And inside this inclusion bit, I use a lot of future-paced copy. So if you want that, you'd have to get the course and get it. But the future-paced copy is where you take someone into the future by using present tense language. So very simple to do. So when you join this super group of people who are losing weight, let's use weight loss as an example, you're going to join people that are going to inspire you. And here's what's going to happen: you're going to wake up. It's tomorrow. And you're going to wake up, and it's already a more awesome day. By the end of the day, you're already going to feel more energy, just like everyone else in this group. You're already going to look better in a week. It's a week now. It's been a week, and you look in the mirror. You just looked in the mirror. That's total future pacing what I'm doing. It's been a week, and you just looked in the mirror. Look at yourself. Wow, you look slim. That's future pacing on steroids. But that's how the mind, I just put you in the future, but you think it's the present. Very powerful tool. But you also want to always link it back to, and that's why you're part of this group, because everyone wants to be part of a collective. Collective mentality has been in us since we came off the plains. So this is why societies form groups. You want to make sure that you have a group for your customer to join. Don't leave them one-on-one. Have them join a group. It's really important. another call to action, and then the checkout process. Let me give you the checkout process really quick. You don't have to include this, but we've seen a bump on most of the video sales letters that do this. So you get to this point, you say, okay, I'm going to show you exactly what you're going to see the moment that you click that button that says, I want sales copy right now. You're going to go to this page, and you'll know it's the right page because it's going to have my logo. Here it is. And see this secure bit thing right here? Yeah, and I'm just walking you through. I would be on my website walking them through visually exactly what they see on the checkout process. And then I can say, and then you're going to get to the members area, and you're going to want to get this book first or whatever. That's a really, really powerful tool because that not only assumes the sale, it future paces them through what they're going to experience. So it reduces what's called friction. People have experiential friction. That means that when you think of something in the future and you haven't experienced it yet, you can often feel friction. You feel like your body getting tense. So that reduces that. Next step is just a couple things. Pain and pleasure. You want to remind people, remind your prospects of the pain and pleasure that they face. They're going to continue to face the pain if they don't take action, but if they do take action and they pick up this product, their life is going to be a lot better. And you just give them reasons why that is. Remind them that it's their responsibility. Now that you know this, it's not your fault that you haven't had sales copy that kicks butt. But now you have no excuse. This is all your responsibility now, pal. It's all in your hands. All you have to do is click the button, for crying out loud. That's the responsibility section. And reinforce it by saying, and don't forget, when you do that, and just say, give them 3 benefits for making that action. When you do that, you're on your way to this, that, and the other. That's reinforce. So that's very simple, pain and pleasure. We're going super fast, action results. So future pace actions, again, this is another time you can say, so when you get inside Sellerator, you're going to go right here, and this is what's going to happen. Tomorrow, you're going to be on step 2, the vital connection. And tomorrow, about this time, you're going to be on this particular, I'm just future pacing. That's all I'm doing. But I'm also assuming the sale. Then I go into a remember overview, and all I do is overview everything, the big points that I've told people about. Remember, you have a problem, we have a solution. That's basically what it is. And you list off what the problems are. You have a problem. Your sales copy isn't working, and you know you're not going to achieve the goals you want to achieve. Remember, this can lead to the nightmare story that I just told you about, where you're actually stealing donuts. Now I'm skipping genres now, but you get the idea. And remember, it doesn't have to be that way. There's an easier way, a way that's as easy as humanly possible. And then you get to your next step. Now I'm going to give you 3 more reasons, if you haven't taken action, to act right now. And you just give 3 reasons to act right now. Those 3 reasons, what I usually do is to say, reason number 1 is I go interpersonal. I go, reason number 1 is you deserve, let's talk about sales copy. You deserve more wealth. You deserve to work less and earn more. You're a hard worker, and you deserve more for your work. That's one reason to act. Another reason to act is your family. Because even if you won't do it for yourself, do it for them, because they deserve the best that you've got. And I'll give you one more reason to act. It's called legacy. You're going to leave something behind. If you believe in what you sell, you should sell it to the best possible ability that you have. You're going to leave this behind for the world to see. Create a legacy. And then I go right to this. It's the only smart thing. There's only one smart thing you can do right now, and that's click the button below. And then we go into a pause. This is the last section right here. It's the Samurai Q&A. The Samurai Q&A is essentially the best sales vehicle you can possibly use. 80% of your sales can come in the Q&A. And I'm going to tell you exactly how to do it. Ready? You want to write down the top 10 questions someone would have. What is there a refund? What happens if this happens? In my case, is this downloadable software? No, you can access it on Macs, PCs, laptops, iPads, iPhones, whatever. Write down all the common questions. And then take questions from your users that the answer would make your stuff look so freaking awesome. I'm going to give you a great example of that. I just wrote a letter for erectile dysfunction, so a little PG-13 here, and it's a very real problem. And it's not a supplement. It's actually it's teaching people what supplements to use and techniques to use and all that stuff. And so, fortunately, I didn't have to do any of the research for this because they did all the research. I just had to create a story. And one of the testimonials was this guy was having a problem that he's just wanting to have sex all the time. Well, so these are the problems that you want to have, right? And so I put in the question and answers. Like a friend of mine got this product, and he's just wanting to have sex all the time. In fact, you know, he's got his wife just completely freaking out. Is this going to happen to me? Well, it could, yeah. And that's the whole idea. That's the samurai side. So you want to pick out what would be the ultimate goal. What would you love your prospects to say when they get your product? Like, for example, one if a seller might be like, this is a true story. A friend of mine, this isn't testimony, a friend of mine bought your product, went through it, and his first video sales letter made him $50 million. Is that going to happen to me? Now, here's what's really interesting. That's not an income claim because that's a legitimate testimonial. That's a legitimate question from somebody. And I get to turn around and say, you know, that might happen, but probably not. Probably not. There are guys that do that. They're in the top 0.01% of the world. But just think, if they can do that, what can you do if you just increase your sales by 30%? You see what I did? And so I told the exact truth, but then I said, but what if you just get a fraction of that? So this is how you do the Samurai Q&A. If you do this right, 80% of your sales will come from the Samurai Q&A. And folks, that is the 5-step VSL process. Now, I'm going to get back over here to the PowerPoint because we got a couple more things to go over here, and then we will wrap it up with Q&A, okay? So first of all, I know you guys aren't stupid. So you're asking yourself, what's the deal? You know there's something coming here, right, guys? You know there's something coming. What you don't know is what it is. That's the surprise. So you've seen the sellerator. You've seen the online stuff. You've seen it in action a little bit. It's a machine that spits out words that gets cash, basically. And by now, you've got to be asking yourself, how much does this cost? You know it doesn't cost 10 grand because I've already told you that. But how much is it going to cost? Because I've been throwing around some big numbers. I've been throwing around some really big numbers. Guys that are making, guys and girls making a lot of money, you know, and I've been told to sell this thing for a lot of money, you know, up to $10,000, as you just heard. So just relax. It's free. It's free. Absolutely free from the second time that you use it. Assuming you do it right, it's going to be free from the second time that you use it, guaranteed. That's pretty freaking good, right? Now, let me tell you something. If you want to try this on your own, you can. You really can. You can start from scratch, or heaven forbid, you can copy someone else's sales page. It's one of the worst things you can do. And hoping that you find all the right trigger words that this guy probably knows that you don't, that generate that yes reflex, that turns off the no response. You can try that on your own, but you know what? It's going to make you or break you, the words, and it's, yeah, good luck with that. The words that you put on your website or video or sales page, wherever you're selling, will make you or break you. It's the words that get people to buy. It's nothing else. A sale is a very delicate thing. It really is. And there are a lot more ways to screw up a sale than there are to get it right. Sellerator allows you to save plenty of time, just really, really hours of time. But more importantly than that, it gives you a formula that's been proven to do it right over and over and over again. And words are so vital. There's no way that you should put that part of your business to chance. Just no way. Now let me give you an idea. Just last week, I charged someone actually $50,000 to write a VSL. It says $30,000. That's not true. That was when I first put this up. The lowest I ever go is $30,000, but for that, I get 50% of the royalties. So in other words, I end up making, yeah, roughly at least a $250,000 to $2 million for a video sales letter. It's a lot of money. Okay, a lot of money. So, but last week I got paid $50,000 because as a buddy of mine, I gave him half price. My normal fee is $100 grand to write a video sales letter. Now that didn't include royalties. That's just the cash. Okay, paid in advance. Just to crank out a video sales letter. And using this formula, I did that work in a day. A day. Now I'm a professional. You probably can't do it in a day. There are people that have, but you can certainly do it in a week. And my God, anyone can do it in a month. So that's the power that we're giving you, the power to do this. Now remember, a sales letter is going to cost you at least $30,000 to $50,000, and that is with a B-level copywriter, B to A in that area. Okay, you can find copywriters that might do it for 10, but most of those guys suck. Okay, I'm just going to warn you. You would not go to a doctor and say, okay, I need you have open heart surgery. Who's the cheapest surgeon you got? Okay, that guy. Okay, now he uses a bad scalpel, but yeah, he's 30 grand less expensive, so I'm going to go with that guy. No one does this, right? Well, guess what the heart of your business is? It's your freaking sales copy. It's the heart of your business. You can't risk this. You cannot put risk in this. It's a $30,000 to $50,000 proposition. In my, because I'm one of the top guys, 100 grand, not counting royalties. Do it wrong, and you're going to lose more than that. That's the key that you want to walk away from here. It's one thing to pay 30 or 50 grand. It's another thing to lose that much money and more because you don't have words to get cash working for you. Because that's what's going on. Nothing happens in your business until productive sales copy gets written. Nothing. And odds are overwhelming that if you go at this alone, you're going to screw it up. $50,000 in one use, if you want to look at it that way, that's a hell of an ROI, don't you think? I mean, when's the last time you bought a stock or bond that doubled in value overnight, right? So forget about all the amazing bonuses and incentives I'm about to show you. Just the sellerator alone, what you've seen here so far, will pay for itself, I think, at least 10 times over. I can't guarantee that, but I can guarantee the results. I can guarantee that you will be happy with it. And if you set the goal at 10 times over, fine. I'll guarantee it. The very first time you sit down to use it, as long as you go through the course and use it right and actually put it online. That's all I ask. It will pay for itself, or I'll give you your money back. It's that serious. Okay? So again, $30,000 to $50,000. I'm going to let you write as many of them as you want using the sellerator formula and the software for a one-time fee of $39.97 with no royalties. You don't have to pay me a dime extra. No monthly fees ever. So look, this is just way better than free. But I'm going to take it down a notch, and I'm going to give you a reason why. I don't discount sellerator, as I said. Lamborghinis never go on sale. Over $1 billion in revenue, I don't have to. So here's what I did instead. What Ryan doesn't know is that in July, we are re-releasing Sellerator 4, and that's going to release for $4,000 to $5,000, so $39.97 to $49.97. We're still debating the price because it's going to come with a lot of the things that's actually in the software right now. Well, I'm going to give you the beta versions of everything that's already in there for $29.97. That's the price of Sellerator as is on my website, but it's going to also include what I'm about to share with you. And one thing that's going to freaking blow your mind. Now, again, this is not a discount. Think of this as a $1,000 advance. I'm giving you $1,000 out of my own pocket to advance you. Think of it that way. But this is not a discount. This is the actual price. $29.97 one time. Price will go up when we do launch, so you've got to act now. And I'm also going to give you a payment plan if you have to have it. Yeah, you pay more. $397 a month for 8 months. It's an installment plan, and that will give you the same lifetime access. It does not give you all the bonuses, but it will give you the same lifetime access to Sellerator. So the price will go up, and so will the monthly price in a matter of days. So here's what's going on. I want to show you just a couple testimonials. First guy, this guy bought a hip flexibility solution, did 110K his first launch, steady sales since then. 110K just right out of the bat. Kurt Malley, one of the best Facebook guys out there, brought in 300K this year, part-time and counting. Notice these are Facebook clips, so you know that this is legit. Here's an iPhone clip that I got. He just took one thing out of the course, 40K the first week. So we're talking about some really powerful sales tools, wouldn't you agree? Now, if that's all that it did, it would be better than free. And honestly, this is an insane value. However, I am going to take this an incredible step further today because what I want to do for that $1,000 differential, that's the cost of our VIP program. It's going to be the cost of our one-on-one coaching, and I'm going to give it to you for free. Today, it comes with the VIP private one-on-one marketing and implementation coaching. This is not group coaching. This is personal one-on-one coaching with the team that coaches Tony Robbins people. Maybe you've heard of Tony Robbins. Have you heard of Jay Abraham? Yeah, same coaching team. We hired those guys. These guys are badasses, and what they do, you don't need help with copywriting. This is not copywriting coaching. This is implementation and business coaching. They will go through and find stuff that you will never think of. I'm telling you, this is unbelievable. The best thing that I can give you is accountability. And if that's all these coaches do for you, awesome. They will hold you accountable. They will hold your hand to get it. They will make sure that you get this done. Okay? These are high-caliber coaching pros, by the way. These aren't like people sitting in Indonesia that don't speak English. These are people here that are business and marketing experts, and they're trained to do one thing, other than get you off your butt and get you going, to help you find the revenue you didn't know existed. They will help you with your online funnel. They will help you get started if you haven't got a product. They will get you in gear. They will keep you committed through the entire process. I've seen too many people go through this and seen the value. The $2,100 that we're putting into this for you today, you're not paying that. This is a no BS price. You call these people up, it's $2,100 minimum for 4 calls. Giving it to you for free to make sure that you follow through. Why am I doing that? I lose money on this, by the way. I really do. I do this for 2 reasons. Number 1, our refunds are cut in by 2/3 because people get better results. And number 2, word of mouth. So I'm being greedy. I want more word of mouth. Number 3, I actually love to see people succeed. I really do. Call me a geek, but I really love to see you succeed. So I want to give that to you, plus 4 free gifts. That's going to accelerate this even further. Remember that group thing I talked to you about? I want you to have a group that's really amazing. I want you to be a part of the Copy Posse on Facebook. It's almost 1,000 people now. It's almost half of our members are in this group, active every single day. These are men and women doing exactly what you do, like-minded entrepreneurs who understand you. They appreciate what you're doing. They're out there with you doing battle in the mean marketing streets, and they want to share their knowledge, intel, copywriting experience with you, camaraderie, cooperation. We're talking about partnerships formed in this group. Oftentimes, we've had several multi-million-dollar deals made in this group. It's just the way things work. Now, you can get your answers within minutes. You don't have to wait for a support answer. Get your answers from other marketers. Now, people have made, like I said, millions being in the Posse, but when we give it to you for free, it's a lifetime free access. That's your first free gift. The second free gift, maybe you're wondering if you're ready for this. Am I ready for accelerators? Is it too advanced? I mean, I don't even have a product. I mean, I kind of do, but maybe not. Well, guess what? Now you're going to have one in 28 days. One of my favorite products I ever created is called the 28-day product creation formula. Guys, remember those ClickBank pictures I showed you? Those were all ebooks. I created a formula for creating ebooks and videos, and I can do this in 28 days from concept to cash, meaning I will dream it up in my head on day 1, and on day 28, it's making money. And I walk you through every single day of this course in 4 videos. It's a $9.97 value. 997 value, 28 days flat, and even if you sell a service, you ought to be productizing your service, by the way. This material will show you how to do it. So if you don't have a product, or if you just want to make your next product that much easier to create, you're going to freaking love this bonus. And let me tell you, I created 9 fitness info products, and I did my last 3 internet marketing products, which did over $7 million in sales, and people paid me to make the product. How would you like to get paid to make your next product? I show you how to do that inside the 28-day product creation formula. That alone is worth much more than the cost of Accelerator, giving it to you for free. Third free gift, my $100 million conversion secret seminar. What is that all about? I wish you could have been there. We sell this for $19.97. This is 8 hours of footage. You will be a fly on the money wall as I reveal the most advanced conversion tactics ever to a secret group of 32 of the top marketers in the world. This was held in Connecticut at boardrooms offices in Connecticut, and some of the top marketers in the world, that's why we call it $100 million, because that's how much money was sitting around that table. I analyzed their video sales letters and their sales pages. We're talking about Agora Financial. Just them alone is $100 million. Just Agora Financial. We're talking about Tim Schmidt. We're talking about Pandora's Box. We're talking about some of the top marketers in the world in that room, and I go through their offers. Joe Barton, Barton Publishing. Right now they've got 3 offers, killing it on cold traffic. That stuff happened in this room. Why on earth would you not want to watch 8 hours of this? Because it will transform the way that you look at marketing. I'm giving this to you for free, $19.97 value. So let's just total this up real quick. Right now we got $19.97 for the 100 million conversion secret seminar, $1,000 for the accelerator special bonus, and we're giving it to you out of pocket. The lifetime is priceless. There's no charge for that. $9.97 for the 28-day product creation formula, and that one-on-one marketing implementation VIP package, $2,100 brings our total to $7,691 in actual package value. Okay, this is actual package value. Look. Here's the deal. Don't let your greed glands get the best of you, okay? I want you to truly realize that this is one of the most generous offers that you've seen on the web for one of the most important things that you will ever need. But don't get involved with this if it's just going to be another string of long wishes, wish-filled moments where you just wake up and you go, oh, wow, there's actually work I have to do? Oh, crap. I thought there was a button to push. If that's you, nothing personal, but I really don't want you as a customer. I'm not trying to be rude or anything, but that's not the customers I'm looking for. I only want to work with people who are going to be super successful, period. That you have the dedication to say, this is happening for me, man. I've drawn the line in the sand, and I am going to make myself as successful as I can be. People with character and commitment to meet me halfway, because I'm giving you tons and tons of passion and tools and all the copy, but you got to meet me halfway and go through it. That's all I ask. I'm putting a lot of faith in you. Your results are guaranteed, as you're about to see your money back. We know this stuff works, like I said, to over $1 billion. But I am willing to extend you and meet you halfway if you're willing to do the same. Is that fair? And I'm also going to give you a 30-day unconditional guarantee. If you don't see the results you want, if this is not the easiest way you've ever seen to create a video sales letter, and I'll go ahead and say it, even if you can't open it on your iPhone one day, oh, can't open it on my freaking iPhone, I actually write video sales letters on my iPhone now because why play games when you can play a money game? It's a lot more fun to play a money game. So whatever the reason was, just go ahead. I'll give you your money back. So why not take advantage of that trust? Why not take a look-see? Why not experience some of the money-making excitement that people are raving about instead of just sitting on the sidelines? It's the worst place to sit. Ben Pottinger got off the sidelines, and check out what he did. 1,399% back on his ROI. That's the first VSL he put up. Took him 2 weeks, very part-time. These are just, I could pull literally hundreds of these. I could go on and on. Dow Badass, one of the top dating products on ClickBank, went from $50 a day to being the top product on ClickBank for many years and one of the top multi-million-dollar dating products of all time. And all of it using this formula. Again, a reminder, $30,000 to $50,000 on the table. You either spend that with a guy like me or you lose that and a lot more by not having copy. I can't help believe that you're smarter than that, and you can see that we're talking about a fraction of that kind of deal, and I'm giving you a 30-day unconditional guarantee. So meet me halfway. Don't be insane. Go to sellerator.com/Ryan. That will give you Ryan's. This is the discount that Ryan is, and I will say discount is actually not technically a discount. I'm just giving you $1,000 in extra stuff. Okay, Ryan. /Ryan. Sellerator.com/Ryan. That's sellerator.com/Ryan, and that will give you that $7,000 plus in those free gifts and savings. And remember, this does end in days because we are going to take the price up when we come out with Accelerator 4. And you are grandfathered in, by the way. When Accelerator 4 comes out, you don't pay another penny for Accelerator 4. So that's an awesome deal right in and of itself. Now, one last thing before we go off the air and take your Q&A. I saved one of the best bonuses for last, a surprise bonus. Traffic. Remember when I mentioned traffic is stupid unless you have a sales page? Well, now it's not stupid because you're about to have the most awesome sales page you've ever had. So you're going to want to know how to drive traffic to that page. I'm going to give you all 10 issues of Traffic Pros. These are over 12 hours of interviews with the top traffic people in the world, free traffic, cheap traffic, and paid traffic, all three. And they will teach you everything from YouTube, Facebook, Google, Twitter, you name it. We got every pro you can think of with some tricks that will just blow your mind, that will blow your mind. So that's what I've got for you today. Now, before we get to the Q&A, let me just end by saying this. Look, if $29.97 or 8 installments of $397 a month is one of those things that you have to, like, go beg your neighbor for, or you have to talk to your significant other because, oh my gosh, I'm afraid we're going to lose our house. Look, maybe this isn't for you. Maybe this isn't the thing for you. Granted, I had a guy say once that, look, I sold my car to get this, and then he sent me a picture of his new car, which was awesome. But I'm not suggesting you sell your car. I'd really like to make this as easy as I can for you, and I think I've done that. But if that's not you, and you feel comfortable making an investment in your business today, why not cash in and get that extra grand, grab all these bonuses, and the Traffic Pros, which is only available on the live replay here, as we're live. It's only for fair. Grab the Traffic Pros for this $9.97 bonus. And listen, don't just sit there. Nothing happens until copy gets done. Nothing. Don't be sitting here a year from now wondering why you're not further ahead financially, wondering why your family doesn't have the good life they deserve, and still blowing money on stupid products that just don't work. And this is something that's been proven to work time and time and time again. And if you happen to be one of those people that are just, you're in one of those soul-sucking jobs and you want to create something online, then at least we've given you the great tools to do it. You've got the 28-day product creation formula. You'll have the traffic sources. You'll obviously have the sales copy. This is a product that accelerates your wealth online as best and as humanly possible. That's the bottom line. So why not you? Why not you? Go to sellerator.com/Ryan, and I will meet you there. And we will give you the best price you'll ever see this at, $29.97, to get you all the bonuses. You can also get the easy installment plan of $397 a month. That does not include the $100 million conversion secret seminar. It does not include the traffic bonus, but does include the other bonuses. So those are your options, sellerator.com/Ryan, and we are ready for Q&A if you are Ryan.
I am ready myself, my man. Dude, this is freaking awesome. I quote unquote know your formula, but the way you explain it, there are a few things today that I wrote down, just the way you explain things. And, I think anyone who's listening to this understands that you have this nuanced command of the nuances of human psychology, which make all the difference. And the fact that you've been able to package it up like this in a way that makes it virtually something that anybody can do, irrespective of what experience you have, is I think that speaks volumes of your command for the material. You're not able to do that. You're not able to take a very complex topic or system and distill it down into something that anybody can use unless you have that. So anybody who's listening to this gets my highest endorsement. I mean, this is something that our internal copywriters that we use, we do a ton of work with VSLs. If you've studied any of my work is derivative of John's. So just like Glenn Livingston is my mentor when it comes to the survey side of our process, on the selling side, John is definitely someone I consider to be one of my most important mentors. So this gets my absolute highest endorsement. This is, you know, in my opinion, this is like a no-brainer, especially for the fact that you have a payment plan, which I think makes this accessible to anybody who's serious about their business. And, you know, with that being said, John, why don't we get to Q&A?
You got it. Happy to take the questions, guys. And oh, by the way, just want to say thank you guys for bearing through, going, people saying, God, took tons of notes, you know, talking very fast. Yeah, thanks a lot for bearing with that, but I wanted to give you as much value as I possibly could. So even if you walk away empty-handed, which I really hope that you don't, at least you've got stuff that you can walk away with and apply. So I hope that, thank you guys for listening with such attention. So let's take some questions.
Great. Do you want me to feed them to you and go through them? Awesome. So Dean writes, do you think the VSL formula still works these days? And he's talking about, you know, the muscle building for skinny guys niche, but I think you can answer the question more generally. He says, I see people doing live camera VSLs, you know, and different formulas in fitness these days. Speak to that. Do you still think this is working and viable today?
Oh yeah, and I'll tell you 3 reasons why. Number one is, I would ask the gentleman who asked the question, what do all of those sales vehicles have in common? Words. You know, you can go on live camera, you can be an animated video sales letter, you can be full slides, you can do any of that stuff, but without the words, it's not going to sell, period. So it doesn't sell because it is a live camera, or it doesn't sell because it is only slides. It sells because the words are compelling. The words touch the person where they need to be touched in order to make the decision they need to make. It's that simple. So video sales letters come in different variety, but let me tell you the big secret behind, I do this for a living, we always test with slides. This is going to blow your mind. Does it still work? I'll put it this way. The number 1 product on ClickBank as of today is, well, go figure, mine. The one I wrote. So, yeah, and does it still work? Yeah, I guess you could say the number 1 product on all of ClickBank works. Yeah, and like I said, 72 out of the top 100 totally, yeah, works. But here's what's interesting. We always test with slides first. Then we'll animate. Then we might add live video, and you might see a bump. Sometimes you don't see a bump. So here's one of the most interesting stories. Andrea, my wife, she has this product called My Bikini Butt, and we did a new VSL, and it started off, I sent over the slides to the guys, and they put up just the slides without reading the VSL very carefully, because the first slide said, what you're looking at here is no laughing matter. It's called cellulite. And guess what they were looking at? Text on a slide. There was no picture of cellulite anywhere. And it said, just look at it. Guess which one won? The slides beat the animation. So start with slides. If you can get slides to work, then put your animation, then put your live video, then do all that. Without the words, pal, you're swimming upstream.
Love it. Love it.
Yeah.
You know, been getting a lot of questions from people asking, will this work in my market? Will this work in my niche? Does this really work in the space or industry that I'm in? Can you just kind of rapid fire style kind of go through the, you know, some of the markets, some of the niches that come to mind? Of course, we know the obvious ones like fitness and health, but just any of them that come to mind that you might not expect this formula and a video sales letter to work in.
So I can just off the top of my head, pocket knives, bottled water, dry cleaners, real estate, selling houses, selling cars, Local businesses, financial services. I'm just going these off the top of my head, just going through everyone that I know. Mortgage brokers, guys that sell wills. I've never seen an industry that sells anything online that it won't work for. If you sell online, you need the persuasion words, the words of persuasion that will work. Period. So the medium rather, of what you use for the VSL itself may change. For example, if you sell a house online, first of all, you would use, I didn't include this in the bonuses, but you do get them. You get my 5-minute, 1-minute, and 20-minute VSLs. So you get that free. So you'd want to use like a 5-minute VSL formula, not a full 45-minute VSL, probably to sell a house, unless it was really expensive and it had a great story. And this is what this guy's doing.
That is so great, because sometimes you say like, oh, my market isn't going to sit through a 45-minute video online. But the fact that you have that, just the shorter micro versions, and like one of the things I think this is great for, because this has been one of the big objections that I've heard about VSLs, is they say a lot of my people, they view my website, my traffic as mobile. So people who might not sit in front of their phone for 45 minutes watching a video VSL, the fact that you've got these shorter versions as well for anybody who's in a space where there's a lot of mobile traffic, I think is amazing. It's great.
Oh yeah, and let me give you some real quick tip on mobile traffic. Actually, a lot of our sales come from mobile. So believe it or not, people are watching video sales letters on mobile, because think about it, it's so unusual to see all slides in a voice. It just really is. People that are in the marketing world like we are, we've seen this, and we go, oh, it's all over the place. You got to remember, there's hundreds of thousands of people coming online every day, hundreds of thousands. There's going to be like literally 2 billion new people online by 2017. I mean, 2 billion people that have never seen a video sales letter. So does it still work? Yes. Does it work in any industry? Any industry that sells anything online, yes, it will work for it.
It's great. So Christian asked kind of a specific question about the offer. Can you just revisit, do the bonuses come with the payment plan, yes or no?
All the bonuses come with the payment plan except for the $100 million conversion secrets bonus. And if you go ahead and you act before this video ends, we will, before the presentation ends today, I'll go ahead and include the traffic pros. But that's the one bonus that doesn't come with this, is that. And that's only fair for people that pay in full. That's a pay in full bonus. So
Great.
The rest of the bonuses do come with it, and we just try to make sure that that you get the best possible deal. And the coaching is a little delayed because of that. I mean, obviously, because it's literally more than coaching costs more than that. But we get you started within a couple weeks as opposed to a couple of days.
Excellent. So Tim asks, for anybody who's driving traffic, paid traffic to a VSL, Google, Facebook, and others, you mentioned that the networks will give you a slap when using a VSL page as a lander. How do you get around that, and are you still able to use Facebook ads?
Oh yeah. In fact, some Facebook ads you can go directly to a VSL. It depends on what you're selling. But the way around that is a survey. In fact, Brian, you can speak to this. You can. You've got a kind of a cool thing there.
We do a little bit with surveys to VSLs on Facebook traffic, and I tell people, we do a ton with VSLs, and we actually have videos on our landing page. And the three, if you want to write this down, the three biggest types of traffic that we drive to John Benson, I call it John Benson sellerator style VSLs with a survey, are number one, Google Display. So the Google Display Network, GDN, Facebook ads, number two, and this is across all the markets that we're in, and number three is native advertising, specifically the Taboola network and to a lesser extent Outbrain. So just to give you a sense that, you've heard my numbers, we drive, 52,000 opt-in email subscribers every single day, and we're doing it through the traffic sources that I mentioned, and we're doing it the way we sell is largely based on exactly what John is teaching here. So, if you've got the survey piece down and you want to combine that with the persuasive architecture and formula that John has, then this is it's like the perfect storm. I mean, it really is. It really is. Christian says, thank you, awesome. Let's go through. A lot of people are saying this is awesome.
Yeah.
This is really great.
Congrats to the people coming in. Hey, congratulations. Good to have you. Good to have you. Good to have you. Lots of we're getting lots of them. So lots of people, I'm sure, hitting that buy button. By the way, that is sellerator.com/Ryan if you're listening on the phone. If you're listening to this on a podcast or something. Sellerator.
Great. Great. So Bill, just this is a super quick question, I think. I think it's an easy one to answer. Bill says, when he buys 3X Accelerator, how will his name appear on the membership site or software? He doesn't want some of his VAs to know his real name. Is that pretty easy fix?
I've never heard that. Never heard that before, but yeah, we could change the name. So the name on the credit card that you use is going to be the name that the system is going to put into. Our Infusionsoft is our backend, but it's easy to change your name to whatever in Infusionsoft. So that's we have customer service.
So just send. Is it fair to say send it after you sign up? Just send an email to your support.
After you sign up, yes, send it to support@sellerator.com.
Great. Orlina says, this sounds awesome. What happens if you've got an amazing VSL, but you don't have anyone to send it to? In other words, someone who might have a small site, doesn't get a ton of traffic. How does that work? Where would you put up your VSLs? What would you say for someone in that situation?
There's almost no such thing, and let me explain what I mean. So this is one of the biggest misconceptions, I think, in marketing, is that traffic comes first. The sales letter comes first. The spike, the hockey curve spike that you saw in my income from when the video sales letter first hit, that went radically up, I did not buy 1 penny of traffic, not 1 penny. What happened was I had an offer that one person, that's all it took, one person mailed for. Within 30 days, I had people buying $1 million a week in media. So that's just crazy. I'm not saying that those exact numbers can happen for you, but I am saying that people with great sales pages, affiliates, that's what they do for a living. These people look for offers, and they know good copy when they see it. That's one of their talents, is to find a good offer, a good copy. So yeah, knowing that it came out of Accelerator is a huge hit for you right off the bat. And then yeah, so all you need is one person to send for it. And that's what's really cool about the copy posse. Because the copy posse, you can't go in there and say, I've got something for you to buy, but you can go in there and say, hey, I've got a product. Would anyone want to promote this? That's perfectly fine. So that helps you find those affiliates. And what's coming out in Accelerator 4 is anyone that goes through Accelerator and has the Accelerator VIP membership, which is what you guys are getting today, for at least $1,000, if not $2,000. By the way, you guys are getting the same thing. You will get. We're setting up a deal with ClickBank to where they will email out to their affiliates once a month and say, here's all the new Accelerator VSLs that are out there, all the new products. So we're in the works with that right now. I was actually supposed to have a call today with the president of the company. We had to reschedule. So hopefully we can get that nailed down and bring that out in Accelerator 4. So we're really on the edge of helping you guys find the traffic you need. And then on top of all that, when you order before this webinar ends, you get Traffic Pros all 10 installments. So just that alone will get you just a mammoth way there. I mean, there's so much traffic. The most genius guys in traffic you'll ever listen to, the #1 guys on Facebook, the #1 guy on Google, the #1 guy on Twitter, the #1 guy, just go down the line, Dean Jackson, Dan Rose, I can go, the names that most marketers would know, just amazing guys. So I think that you'll find that alone very, very helpful.
And I think the thing to remember here is, like, for you personally, John, you are super incentivized to get that exposure for Sellerator, right? So anybody who uses this format, you want to say, hey, look at all the VSLs using this formula. So you're kind of working behind the scenes doing the things like you said with ClickBank to kind of get the profile on that. So even if you don't have a situation now where you're generating a ton of traffic to your site, you put one of these out there, and it sounds like that's a big strategic thing that you're putting a lot of your time and effort into, is to get exposure for people who are using the Sellerator formula to devise their VSLs.
That's what we're working on, and we already have it in Copy Posse, and we already have it just by the simple fact that when people they recognize the name, so these things they just convert. I mean, that's the whole thing. Is if it converts, people will bill for it. It's that simple.
I want to make one mention about your pricing, because I know it's like if you're listening to this right now and you're like, yeah, the price is going to go up. Yeah. I want to just share this comment from Charles. Charles says, John, shame on me. I haven't used your product, but when I purchased it at $19.97 last year, you said the price would go up. And I'm on this call to say you keep your word. People on this call should buy it for $29.97 before it goes up to $39.97. You have the best influence and persuasion techniques I've ever seen. I've read in the last 7 years, and it's true. Like I've seen the price go up, so I know like when you say something like that, like you mean your word.
Yeah.
Another question that's come up is about multiple prices. There's been a couple people have said, what happens if you've got a product where you sell it at different prices? Maybe it's a software product with different tiers. Is that something that you cover, how to handle that? Which price you might say on the VSL, how you cover something with multiple price tiers or levels?
Yeah, it's very briefly covered, but you would, on a multiple price option, when you drop down, you would say, look below this video now and choose the package that's right for you. That's really all there is to it, and you could say, like, let's say you have 3 different packages. You have your starter package, which will give you this, your pro package, which will give you this, and then your VIP package, which will give you this, 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 and this. And that's really the only difference, if I understand the question correctly.
Yep, no, this is awesome. Mary says this is an excellent webinar, thank you. Someone earlier, where is it? Someone mentioned that, here is it. Sorry, I'm getting too many questions. I can't keep up. Great stuff and great job teaching it. This is awesome. This is amazing. Rick says, I'm in. I want to combine Ryan's survey and DSLs to make an awesome package. Very smart move. I'll say that. Let's see. Oh, God. Sandeep says, I agree. I was struggling with creating my VSL. I took the plunge, invested in Sellerator. Best damn decision I made. I wrote sloppy VSL copy. And now everything's cleared up. Bill says, I'm buying, already a member. This is awesome.
Thank you, guys. Thank you.
Okay. Native ads with Outbreak and Taboola. Taboola is the ad network, Lindy, that I mentioned. Let's see. Any other questions that we haven't in? Bill says, I'm in. Cool. All laid out. Awesome. John, are there any questions? And I have to run because I'm a minute past the hour. So here's what we can do. Either we can wrap here, or if you have any other questions that you either see in the chat or questions that we haven't covered that you think we should answer. I know you had mentioned that you might be willing to give us a few bonus minutes of your time as a sort of special favor. Do you want to stick around and do that, or should we plan on wrapping here? I'm going to leave it up to you, whatever you think is best.
We can do till 2:10, yeah, for sure. We can do another 9 minutes, and if I could have some help with the questions, that would be awesome, if there's someone there to do that, or if not, just let me know.
Great. Brandon, are you able to feed some of the questions to John?
Yep, I can do that for sure.
Awesome.
So it looks like I see the first question I don't think we've gotten to has been like a flood of new questions coming through. Lisa, Rachel, and Jay, you kind of see those questions coming through?
Yep.
Towards the bottom? Awesome. So Brandon, I'm going to turn it over to you, my man. John, I want to say thanks so much for taking the time to do this. I know like your time is, what do you charge, like $10,000 an hour or something crazy like that for your time?
$5,000 an hour, yeah.
Yeah, and it's worth it too. That's the thing. The reason why you can charge that is because people pay that, and it's freaking worth it. I mean, and so when you think about how many hours of your time you get poured into this, the value is just like gold. So I want to say thanks again for being here, and John is going to stick around so everyone's clear about that. He's going to stick around for another 10 minutes to answer any remaining questions. And with that being said, I'm going to duck out. Brandon, I'll let you take it away. This gets my absolute highest endorsement, and like Rick and Bill and everyone else who said, I can't wait to be combining Ryan's survey techniques with John's VSL ninjery. That's like the perfect storm. I mean, like, that's it. Like, you got it. Like, you've got the best of the best. These are two best in category options, and when you combine them together, good things happen. So with that being said, John, Brandon, I'll let you guys take it away. Thanks a lot.
Thanks, Ryan.
All right, see you, Ryan. Okay, yeah, a bunch of new questions came in, so we can get those taken care of. I guess we got about another 7 or 8 minutes or so. So Sandeep had a specific question regarding existing members. Just wants to know if he wants to know about the ClickBank VSL promotion, if that's going to apply to the existing Sellerator members.
Yes, it is. That's it. Now, when that comes, I would love to say it's a done deal. Absolutely, it's so close. But when and if we get that done deal, then yes, that's part of the Sellerator 4 option, and that's going to come with, that is our VIP. So yeah, that's part of that's what you get. Yeah, you get grandfathered in. So that's going to be really, really awesome. And we're always working, not with ClickBank, we're going to work with other people just to get more and more exposure for you guys. So Copy Posse is great for that too.
Okay, great. And Jay asks, can you give an example of applying a VSL to selling like physical products like fashion or jewelry or anything of that nature?
Oh, sure. So when you sell a physical product, I went through a couple of physical products that are being sold right now. The tangible, what you want to do is always look for the same thing. Like if you can get something specific, like if you're looking for jewelry, for example, there's a guy that actually sells rings, and so I can use this as a real example. And he went through some personal coaching with us, and just that so I can give you exactly what we gave him. His angle was. Originally, it was like, how do I, sell all these different rings and all this kind of stuff? I said, you don't sell the ring, you sell the ring maker. You sell the idea of what makes it unique. And so what I came up with for him and what he used is like the one thing that in this case was buying rings for women. The one thing that a girl hates to see is the same dress on another girl. You hate to walk into a party wearing the same thing. Hate to walk into a party, look at the same ring. Can you imagine the horror when she's showing off her engagement ring and her friend has the same exact ring? Let me give something as custom as your love is. And that's how we phrased it. So something to that effect. So that's, if you think about, every product's got an emotional hook to it. Every product. You have to ask yourself, what is the fear point? What is the pain point? What is the pleasure? In this case, there's a fear point and a pain point and a pleasure point. The pain point was you don't want to look like everyone else, and the pleasure point was give her something that matches your love for her. And that's just, yeah, it was a no-brainer sell from that point. So in other words, I use the same copy strategies as I would use in anything else. I would just look for the pain points and pleasure points, and that's what most people don't do, especially if they have a benign product like a water bottle. A water bottle is a great example that's being sold with a VSL. Like, how much pain can you have with a water bottle? It's great. You get plenty. I mean, it's like just imagine the frustration when you're out there jogging and you're jogging along and you get this water bottle strapped to your side. Next thing you know, you show up and everybody's laughing at you because it looked like you wet your shorts. You just spilled all your water all over. Now you're dehydrated. You just tell the same emotional stories that you would tell in the same nightmare story the formula that I used, and you relate it to what that product does. So it might not be an info product, but it can be what it does. This will ensure that you stay hydrated. This will ensure that your jewelry or your fashion is unique or whatever.
Yeah, that kind of reminds me, actually, back in my network marketing days, which is going back quite a long time ago, they used to always say, don't try and sell the drill, sell the hole in the wall. So I guess it's the same type of concept, right?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. Yeah, I think we only got a few left here. There was one that was buried. I can't find it, but I remember he was talking about VSL controls and giving people the ability to stop or pause. And one thing that used to drive them nuts is that you can't stop some of these VSLs. So what are your feelings on, giving people control over the video or just doing autoplay, that sort of thing?
You know what? You have me to thank for that. I hate to say. So don't hate me enough not to buy Sellerator. But yeah, I started that. So we came up with the bright idea one day of not allowing any controls and pause, and it bumped conversions by 30%, and it almost always does. Then there's a search engine called Google that threw a hissy fit about this, and now we don't do it because they bitch and moan about it. But when it comes down to selling, oh yeah, it works a lot better. So for our affiliate offers, we we make sure that we don't have the pause. So from a sheer conversion point of view, it works better. Here's a way around it. If you are insistent upon putting the pause feature in, when you pause, you can have HTML code underneath the video sales letter that pops down a miniature sales page. The problem is that if they pause it in the first 10 seconds, you don't want that. You really don't. You haven't got them into the idea of the video sales letter yet. So there's a conditional pause that you can have programmed in. In other words, say if the video has gone on for 10 minutes and it's paused, show this page. If not, show something else. And that is the most sophisticated way to handle a pause if you really want to do it.
So what about compliance then? So you can't. I'm guessing you can't send your direct cold traffic from Google to an autoplay VSL then.
Yeah, you can autoplay. Yeah,
Sorry, without the pause is what I meant.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. So here's what we do. In our high end, when we're sending a lot of traffic to an offer that is like really, when I say questionable, I don't do anything questionable ethically. When I say questionable, it's like a fitness offer. Andrea's got an offer for women's butts, for example. Okay, and so we get flagged a lot by Google Ads saying, oh, this is porn. Well, it's not porn. We're talking about getting a better butt for women. It has nothing to do with porn, right? But some flunky in Google doesn't know that. So we have an iffy site. We have a site that you have to tread cautiously. So we have a full-blown sales page with a video sales letter on top of it. I'll tell you right now, because we've tested it, take away the sales page and the video sales letter alone kills it. But Google just will complain about it. But even with the sales page underneath it, it still converts enough to make money, and that's what's really cool. I mean, if you can make money on YouTube traffic and Google traffic, you're doing really, really well,
right.
Especially with an offer that immediately cuts out 50% of your audience.
All right, cool, very good. I think we just have one last question. This will probably be the last one. I got 10 after here. Lisa just wants to know a little bit more about the guarantee. So she asked, can you just tell me more literally about the guarantee?
Okay, Lisa, here's the guarantee, 30-day unconditional guarantee. What I guarantee is this. Your expectations are going to be met. Assuming your expectations are remotely rational, if you're expecting, I want to create a video sales letter in 30 minutes that gets me $10 million, then yeah, good luck with that. Don't buy my product. But here's what I guarantee. If you're not completely satisfied with this, if you don't think this is the best course you've ever gotten when it comes down to sales copy, video, sales letter, persuasion, whatever, any sort of marketing thing that you've ever gotten. And if after 30 days you put something online and it doesn't make back the money, it doesn't at least double, I'll go as far as tenfold the money that you invested, let me give you your money back. Now, if it gets you 8 times the money, then I'd, be cool. But, most people make more than that if they do it right. And just in case you're one of the few that, for whatever reason, that doesn't work for you, that's 30-day unconditional guarantee. And you know what? We're going to make a conditional guarantee with Sellerator 4. And let me just tell you about that really briefly. I don't mind going a little bit over if you don't, Brent. The conditional guarantee on Sellerator 4 is really simple. There's no guarantee. And I'm having to make this deal with our merchants because our merchants are like, wait, there's no guarantee. Well, it's actually a conditional guarantee. You have to prove to us that you actually did the course. You have to show us your video sales letter online. And the reason why we're going to make that is because if you'll do this, it's rare that this doesn't work. And sometimes when it really doesn't work, and it's rare, I mean, literally it's like 5% of the time. But that 5% of the time, if that's you, I don't want your money. If I haven't helped you, please take your money back. That's not the man I am. But if you're in that 95% that actually do it, and actually put it online, I think you'll be really, really happy with it. So that's what we give 30 days to do it. And as you saw, everything's laid out for you. Click buttons, go, edit the text. You can do this in 30 days.
Very cool. And you won't have to worry. Lisa says that she'll be cool, so don't worry about that. So if there's any parting words or if you want anything else you want to include that you haven't yet, maybe this is your chance to, I guess, throw anything else in and then maybe just sign off.
Well, I'll say this. I'll sign off with this. Any Shakespeare fans? Say yes if you like Shakespeare. Okay, some yeses here. A rose by any other name? You know the phrase? Well, this particular rose is not like any other rose. This is a one-of-a-kind system. I have been asked numerous times, how does this compare with this piece of crap script maker over here? And I'm like, well, it's like going into a Lamborghini dealership and going, yeah, but you know what? I have a 72 Pinto, and it's pretty close to that. It's got 4 wheels, it's car, it gets you from, no, it's not even in the same ballpark, This is not a rose by any other name. This is a very unique, one-of-a-kind program that I'm very, very proud to say is highly endorsed without financial compensation by Frank Kern, Ryan Dice, Andy Jenkins, Perry Marshall, Evan Pagan. I can go down the list. They're all on my homepage. You read the testimonials for themselves that have used the stuff that actually get the results. And more importantly than that, because those guys are the multi-million-dollar guys, it's endorsed by guys and girls that are getting started and making something happen for the first time. And people getting, maybe just want a 5 or 6 figure business just to get started. That's cool, man. I totally dig that. I mean, a lot of people in Sellerator, they just want a lifestyle business. Hey, I had one guy tell me, look, if I can make 200 grand a year, I am set. I don't need to be a millionaire. I just want to make 200 grand a year, I'm like, well, with a good video sales letter and a good product, and if you do the marketing right, that's completely in my world, that's completely in the realm of doable. I see it happen all the time. But you may be like me. You may want to I want to build a multi-million-dollar company, or I want to have multiple products and things like that. This is the product that can help you do it. And it's work, man. I'm telling you right now, it is work. but it is the easiest way to do it that you can possibly get. I practice what I preach, see. But this is so please don't get this and assume that, oh wow, the software will do it all for me. It does a lot of it for you, and you'll save 95% of the typing that you would normally have to do to type out 500 slides. And it will give you copy. Yes, it gives you copy, not just one template copy. It pulls over 1 million iterations of copy, 1 million iterations. So lots of copy. That's awesome, and it is at a push of a button. But it's still work. So please, meet me halfway. Come on board, meet me halfway. $29.97, you get all the bonuses plus the Traffic Pros. If you can't do that, $3.97 a month will get you everything but the $100 million conversion formula. Come join us, and let us get you started with some personal coaching too. So the coaches can get on you and go, look, hey, let's go, and can really help get you through this. And I tell you right now, once you have a great video sales letter online, life is a lot better. Just one video sales letter is the difference between poverty and wealth for a lot of people. And that's no BS. That's not marketing speak. That is the absolute truth. One sales letter, one, can be the difference between wealth and poverty. And I'd love to be the person that helps you achieve the wealth that you're looking for. So thank you very much for being with us, and sellerator.com/Ryan is where you get it.
And on behalf of Ryan and the team, I just want to say thanks so much, John, for your time. I know it's a 2-hour monster webinar, and I just want to say I appreciate your time so much. And you know, I hope everyone's in, and I look forward to talking to you again.
Oh, same here. Thank you so much, guys. I really appreciate you, and look forward to having you guys inside the Sellerator family.
Take care.
Thanks.